Chapter 1157. My name is Galaxy. Requesting monthly tickets at the beginning of the month, the vast expanse of space-time forcibly replaced the Xianhuang universe, enveloping the 9 chaos great saints like insects in amber, enduring immense pressure every moment. The many rules and great paths operating in the Xianhuang universe retreated and avoided that eternal fierce sun spanning the center of space-time. Wherever its sunlight shone, it became a domain. The rules and great paths of this postnatal universe are far more oppressive than the rules and great paths of the outside chaos void. Now the rules and great paths within the universe retreat and avoid, surely the same would happen in the chaos void. The wild barbarian great saint steadied himself, incredulous. Is this the fruition of an unrivaled great saint's thought to control the void? The space-time rules around the standing position are all set by oneself? No. It's merely the great path rules retreating and avoiding. It hasn't reached the level of setting one's own rules. It's not an unrivaled great saint. The wild barbarian great saint swallowed hard. At this moment, the strength Lin Yuan displayed, even if not an unrivaled great saint, far surpassed them. At least the wild barbarian great saint considered himself not a match, not even necessary to confront. How is he so powerful? The dual-origin great saint was equally shocked. Previously, outside the Xianhuang universe, he had used a killing move to hold Lin Yuan momentarily, so he was the first to enter the Xianhuang universe. At that time, Lin Yuan indeed put some pressure on the dual-origin great saint. But it was only the pressure facing an enemy of the same tier. And now? Is this an enemy of the same tier? If you wish to survive, Lin Yuan stood there, overlooking each chaos great saint, speaking calmly, then swear to immediately exit this universe, not approaching for 1,000 cosmic eras. Except for the Shadow Demon Great Saint and the 9 Phoenix Great Saint, Lin Yuan had no significant grudges with the other Chaos Great Saints. As long as they didn't continue to stay in the Xianhuang universe, Lin Yuan didn't mind letting them go this once. The main issue was the impossibility of eradicating all roots. These Chaos Great Saints had many life-saving measures. Even if they died within this universe, they would resurrect in other hidden places. They might not even need resurrection. Immediately exit this universe? The Black Light Great Saint, with his Black Light domain, could only maintain it within 10,000 miles, looked at Lin Yuan with a grim face. Not just exiting this palace, but directly exiting this universe. With Lin Yuan's current explosive strength, the Black Light Great Saint no longer planned to resist forcefully. If possible, he would take that dark palace and look for treasures in other regions. This universe, since it could nurture a supreme treasure at the level of an unrivaled Great Saint, could produce a second or third one. Even if unable to acquire a treasure at the unrivaled Great Saint level, at least obtaining one at the Chaos Great Saint level would justify the trip. To get close to this universe as quickly as possible, the Black Light Great Saint had already paid a hefty price. Isn't your appetite too large, not being an unrivaled Great Saint, yet wanting to do the deeds of an unrivaled Great Saint? The dual-origin Great Saint also stared at Lin Yuan. The space-time formed around Lin Yuan indeed exerted immense pressure, far surpassing the Black Light domain. If it were only the dual-origin Great Saint alone, he wouldn't speak this way, because he indeed had no means to resist the surrounding space-time suppression. But now, besides the dual-origin Great Saint, there were other 8 Chaos Great Saints, 2 of whom were formidable Great Saints. If the 9 Chaos Great Saints joined forces, even if unable to defeat Lin Yuan, at least they could contend with him. At worst, even if they lost in the end, the dual-origin Great Saint was confident in his escape. No matter how strong Lin Yuan was, he was not an unrivaled Great Saint. Indeed. The wild barbarian Great Saint glanced at the dual-origin Great Saint and the Black Light Great Saint, also staring at Lin Yuan. This dark palace can be given to you, but asking us to exit immediately is somewhat excessive. The wild barbarian Great Saint had been starkly gouged by the eye of myriad laws, feeling the pain even now, unwilling to give up. Tian Lu Great Saint, 9 Phoenix Great Saint, and other ordinary Great Saints hesitated slightly. Unlike the dual-origin Great Saint and wild barbarian Great Saint, they truly felt the risk of falling under the suppression of the surrounding spacetime. The three formidable great saints could say so because they had confidence in saving themselves, but what about the six of them? CTH novel, F.I.R. NT website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Although falling now doesn't mean total death, the cost of using life-saving means to retrain to peak strength is significant. Only by joining forces can we protect ourselves. The dual origin Great Saint immediately transmitted to the six Chaos Great Saints. Although the strength of these six Chaos Great Saints wasn't equal to them, during a real fight, these six could at least divert some of Lin Yuan's attention. Thus, the pressure on the three formidable Great Saints would be somewhat alleviated. If we retreat, it's equivalent to giving up on this universe. I can share some intel. The creator of this universe is an unrivaled great saint close to invincible in strength, astonishingly strong. The treasures this universe conceals are just beginning. Are you willing to just give up? The dual origin great saint, to gain the support of the six chaos great saints, did not hesitate to disclose what he knew. An unrivaled great saint close to invincible? Tian Lu great saint's pupils slightly contracted, knowing the significance of an invincible great saint. The boundless chaos void allows only one invincible great saint per era, and most eras have none. To convince such an unrivaled great saint requires absolute superiority in strength, making other unrivaled great saints feel hopeless and unconquerable, creating a universally acknowledged invincible great saint. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1158 My name is Galaxy. Requesting monthly votes at the beginning of the month. _2 The invincible great saints are extremely rare, and those peerless great saints who are close to becoming invincible great saints are likewise not many, at least their strength needs to surpass others of the same level. Originally, Tian Lu Great Saint and other Chaos Great Saints thought that the pioneer of this postnatal universe was just a normal peerless Great Saint, but a peerless Great Saint close to becoming an invincible Great Saint? 9 Phoenix Great Saint, Shadow Demon Great Saint, and several other Chaos Great Saints had similar changes in their thoughts. A postnatal universe left by a peerless Great Saint close to an invincible Great Saint might only appear once in countless cosmic eras. For these newly advanced Great Saints, encountering such a level of postnatal universe is an unparalleled opportunity that cannot be sought. If they give up this time, they may never have such a chance again. Thinking of this, Tian Lu Great Saint and other Chaos Great Saints made up their minds. First, the value of this universe is even beyond their expectations. Second, since dual origin Great Saint dares to involve them to resist Lin Yuan, there must be some confidence. If there was nothing to rely on, dual origin Great Saint wouldn't do this. In just a moment, the eyes of the six Chaos Great Saints became firm. They also do not believe that with the combined strength of 9 Chaos Great Saints, they couldn't contend with Lin Yuan? What happened? Each of the Chaos Venerables attracted by spacetime fluctuations, before they could even approach, saw that the distant spacetime seemed to be cut apart, with dual origin Great Saint, Black Light Great Saint, and other Chaos Great Saints all trapped inside. Is it that the 9 Great Saints have begun to slaughter each other? TSK, such spacetime confinement techniques have never been displayed outside before. Indeed, such a spacetime fluctuation must mean a great treasure has emerged, and these Great Saints are certainly going to battle for it. Many Chaos Venerables watched from afar. With 9 Great Saints present, they had no thoughts of obtaining the treasure but were curious which Great Saint would ultimately claim it. It seems that none of you wish to retreat. Lin Yuan looked at the 9 Chaos Great Saints with a slight smile and said, "In that case, all of you may stay." But the space-time from all directions began to contract rapidly. The external universe formed by the divine ability world could theoretically expand to trillions of light years. But that is the limit of the external universe. The smaller it gets, the more concentrated its power, and the greater the pressure it puts on the enemy. With such strength, what is your name? Dual origin Great Saint transformed back into cyan gray light, while the surrounding space-time continued to shatter and reorganize. Immediately, the other 8 great saints all looked at Lin Yuan. Although Lin Yuan was extremely domineering, they had to admit that his strength was indeed very strong. Otherwise, he wouldn't have compelled Dual Origin Great Saint, Black Light Great Saint, and others to join forces against him. Name. Lin Yuan smiled gently, I am Galaxy. Boom. The vast space-time surged like a tide, and the 9 Chaos Great Saints seemed like lonely boats on an ocean, at risk of capsizing under the continual battering waves. Initially, upon leaving the universe, Lin Yuan needed to be low-key to cultivate steadily, otherwise even the ancient Ming Venerable was enough to threaten him and the human civilization group at that time. But now, Lin Yuan's combat power had nearly reached the invincibility of a Chaos Great Saint, enough to traverse the Chaos Void. At this time, there was naturally no need to be low-key, nor was it necessary to be low-key. Galaxy? Galaxy Great Saint? Dual Origin Great Saint frowned in thought. He had not heard of this name before. This implied 2 possibilities. One was that Lin Yuan had simply made up the name. The second was that Lin Yuan came from an era even more ancient than he imagined. Not only had his techniques not been passed down, even his name had been worn away by the long years. Dual Origin Great Saint leaned more towards the latter. With Lin Yuan's strength, there was no need to lie deliberately. Such a powerful being would disdain lying. While Dual Origin Great Saint was deep in thought, the ubiquitous vast space-time surged onto him. Dual Origin Fusion, Tear. Dual Origin Great Saint treated it as a great enemy and immediately used his strongest technique, the strongest strike after the fusion of his own path. This method exhausts a considerable amount of Dual Origin Great Saint's origin source, and he would not use it unless in an emergency. But to contend with Lin Yuan and to remain in this universe, Dual Origin Great Saint did not hold back at all. Screech. The terrifying space-time fissures kept being torn open, and Dual Origin Great Saint tore through multiple layers of space-time, trying to approach Lin Yuan. Only by getting close to Lin Yuan could he threaten Lin Yuan. But moments later, Dual Origin Great Saint was horrified to find that for every layer of space-time he tore through, 10-fold or 100-fold would be replenished back. This gave Dual Origin Great Saint a sense of powerlessness, like an ant gazing at the sky, the distance to Lin Yuan not far, but the space-time in between spanned unknown billions of light-years. My fusion power path, unable to tear through space-time near him? Dual Origin Great Saint was extremely shocked. To contend with Lin Yuan, he must be able to threaten Lin Yuan, otherwise, how could he talk about contending? How could he talk about making Lin Yuan retreat? Allowing them to stay within the universe? And now? Forget threatening Lin Yuan? Dual Origin Great Saint could not even get close. How could he fight? I fully fuse 2 power paths. The eruption of power should easily tear through the internal universe of a peak Chaos Great Saint, yet it's helpless against this space-time. What's the depth of this technique-concentrated space-time? Dual Origin Great Saint tried several more times and found it was still the same. His heart sank instantly. Black Light Void. Black Light Great Saint's aura suddenly soared. The surrounding black light domain exuding infinite darkness immediately became deeper, attempting to forcefully expand under the space-time pressure. The Black Light Void is a technique used by Black Light Great Saint by burning his origin source, an ultimate sublimation of the black light domain, a capability he would absolutely not use unless in a desperate situation. So the novel, If Ire. NT website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. After all, burning origin source can bring great power improvement, but recovery is equally difficult. Enlarge, enlarge, enlarge. Black Light Great Saint fully operated the black light domain, and after burning his origin source, the power of the black light domain significantly increased, which Black Light Great Saint preferred to call Black Light Void. But just as the vast space-time rolled in from all directions, the Black Light Void, that Black Light Great Saint tried his hardest to expand, was immediately compressed back to its original size, and with the increasing space-time pressure, even the original size could not be maintained, rapidly shrinking. My Black Light Void, Black Light Great Saint was in disbelief. This was his method to deal with Dual Origin Great Saint, but under Lin Yuan's condensed space-time pressure, not to mention resistance, he couldn't even withstand it. Damn. Wild Barbarian Great Saint also tried to attack Lin Yuan, but was immediately confined by the ubiquitous space-time, feeling all his strength had nowhere to be used. Galaxy Great Saint, dare to engage me in close combat. Wild Barbarian Great Saint shouted at Lin Yuan. Close combat was his strongest suit. His Path of Chaos evolved power also excelled in this area. Originally, Wild Barbarian Great Saint had specially cultivated some secret techniques to deal with Great Saint's adept at domain abilities, but under Lin Yuan's condensed space-time pressure, those secret techniques had no effect at all. Close combat? Lin Yuan glanced at him. You can't even deal with my external universe, and yet you want to engage in close combat with me. The martial Tao evolution road similarly excelled in hand-to-hand combat, but now, being able to rely on the external universe to suppress enemies, Lin Yuan naturally didn't bother with close combat. Condense. Lin Yuan looked at Wild Barbarian Great Saint. Immediately the vast space-time surged up, directly suppressing Wild Barbarian Great Saint firmly. This, further away, Tian Lu Great Saint originally also wanted to seize the opportunity to make a move, not asking to threaten Lin Yuan, but at least able to distract his attention. But upon seeing in just an instant Dual Origin Great Saint, Black Light Great Saint, Wild Barbarian Great Saint, the three Great Saints struggling under the suppression of the surrounding vast space-time, wobbling precariously. Tian Lu Great Saint's heart trembled. Swoosh. Tian Lu Great Saint did not advance but retreated, fleeing madly in the opposite direction of Lin Yuan. As for the earlier agreement with Dual Origin Great Saint to join forces against Lin Yuan? Against your mother. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1159, 9 Phoenixes and Shadow Demon, request for beginning of the month guaranteed monthly votes. Outside the battlefield, the Chaos Venerables were intently watching from afar. In the distance, the space-time had completely separated from the Xianhuang universe, forming its own realm, where the 9 Chaos Great Saints were likely engaged in a fierce battle. But as they watched, the numerous Venerables sensed something amiss. Silence. Too silent. Logically, with the power of Chaos Great Saints, a clash would cause reverberations enough to bring down heaven and earth. The battle between the newly advanced 9 Phoenix Great Saint and Shadow Demon Great Saint unleashed such waves that entire natural universes prematurely collapsed into great destruction, forcing the ancient Ming Venerable to move away preemptively or face severe injuries. Such was the case with the 2 new Great Saints. Not to mention the 9 Great Saints among them, 3 belonging to the mighty Great Saints, where the likes of Shadow Demon Great Saint and 9 Phoenix Great Saint were undoubtedly the weakest. How could such a terrifying group of powerhouses battle each other so quietly? That piece of isolated space-time didn't stir up even a bit of turmoil? Could it be that the 9 Great Saints haven't made a move? Not making a move? Before a treasured object, won't they act? Indeed, the emerging treasured object is probably at the level of an unparalleled Great Saint, and for such a treasure, even an unparalleled Great Saint would find it hard to resist, let alone Chaos Great Saints? If it weren't for me going up there to die, I'd want to fight for it too. The numerous Chaos Venerables bore odd expressions, for logically, they were sure the 9 Great Saints would inevitably engage in a battle for supremacy. Yet the current scene showed no signs of conflict, causing the Chaos Venerables to harbor deep doubts in their hearts. Let's keep watching. What's the rush? One Chaos Venerable suggested. As they had no thoughts of claiming that treasured object, they would continue to observe. What the numerous Chaos Venerables didn't know was that it wasn't that Dual Origin Great Saint and Black Light Great Saint hadn't made a move, but that their power when they did was completely covered and enveloped by Lin Yuan's outer universe, resulting in no aftermath spreading to the outside. Can't escape. The space-time is sealed. With my strength, I can't tear open the space-time passage to escape to the outside world. Tian Lu Great Saint's heart turned cold upon seeing the scene where Dual Origin, Black Light, and Wild Barbarian Great Saints were immediately suppressed by Lin Yuan upon contact. Tianlu Great Saint realized that Dual Origin Great Saint was overly confident, or rather, underestimated Lin Yuan's power. Still resisting? It's uncertain whether one can survive, yet still resist? At this moment, Tianlu Great Saint began to regret, understanding that if he had immediately agreed when Lin Yuan asked them to leave the universe, nothing would have happened. Insisted on joining forces with Dual Origin Great Saint. While Lin Yuan dealt with Dual Origin Great Saint, Black Light Great Saint, and Wild Barbarian Great Saint, he also noticed the behavior of the other 6 Chaos Great Saints. In fact, not just Tianlu Great Saint, but 9 Phoenix Great Saint, Shadow Demon Great Saint, and other Chaos Great Saints, upon seeing the 3 mighty Chaos Great Saints so easily suppressed. Their first thought was to flee. And they acted on it, immediately scattering in several directions. But unfortunately, at this moment, the surrounding space-time had entirely succumbed to Lin Yuan's outer universe. Ordinary Chaos Great Saints couldn't escape the constraints of space-time. Suppress. Lin Yuan glanced at the 6 Chaos Great Saints fleeing in different directions, his mind focused, and the vast space-time surged forth, suppressing the 6 Chaos Great Saints in place without any resistance. Like insects trapped in amber, they couldn't move. It's over. Tianlu Great Saint's heart sank to the depths. Even though he realized he would be suppressed once he couldn't tear open the space-time passage to the outside, the moment it truly arrived, Tianlu Great Saint still felt heavy-hearted. A dignified Chaos Great Saint, dominating various void domains, even when facing such mighty Great Saints as Dual Origin Great Saint, he never felt much fear, and now he was suppressed so easily. I am not dead. Tianlu Great Saint carefully examined his surroundings. Although he was fully suppressed, he could still achieve basic perception. With the Galaxy Great Saint's strength, having suppressed me, he could easily annihilate me, yet now I am not dead, which implies the Galaxy Great Saint doesn't intend to kill me. Or perhaps I still have room for negotiation. Tianlu Great Saint pondered to himself. If there was a chance, he naturally wouldn't want to relinquish this physical body. Cultivating a new primary battle body would require expending countless resources. The more crucial point is that it would take a lot of time to cultivate. Both resources and time would be needed. Therefore, as long as there was a glimmer of hope, Tianlu Great Saint was unwilling to let go of this physical body. Now I can deal with the 3 of them. Having dealt with the 6 ordinary Chaos Great Saints, Lin Yuan finally focused on the 3 Great Saints, Dual Origin Great Saint, Black Light Great Saint, and Wild Barbarian Great Saint. It must be said, the strength of these 3 Great Saints was indeed formidable. Even Lin Yuan, to completely suppress them as quickly as possible, utilized most of his techniques. Black Light Great Saint. Sar the Ovalfire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Lin Yuan looked towards Black Light Great Saint, surrounded by endless darkness, as the black light domain around this Chaos Great Saint was rapidly being compressed. Tearing the sky. Lin Yuan suddenly lifted his right hand and clawed at Black Light Great Saint. In an instant, 5 trails filled with destructive aura flashed by, landing on the black light domain surrounding Black Light Great Saint. Immediately, the black light domain began to rapidly collapse. After the second layer of infinite void, Lin Yuan's foundational strength had significantly improved, and the tearing the sky divine skills, which depended on Lin Yuan's foundation, naturally also escalated. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Black Light Great Saint's body was pierced through with one grab, the wound constantly exuding a destructive aura, extinguishing all vitality and recovery power. This Black Light Great Saint widened his eyes, feeling his strength drastically decline due to that grab. Another grab. Lin Yuan continued to unleash the tearing the sky divine skills. Black Light Great Saint's body was penetrated once more, causing the black light domain surrounding him to fully collapse, eventually revealing Black Light Great Saint's form. Without the protection of the black light domain, the Black Light Great Saint was like undefended prey before Lin Yuan, directly suppressed by the immense power of spacetime. Wild Barbarian Great Saint. Lin Yuan looked at another Chaos Great Saint. This Chaos Great Saint, though not as troublesome as the Black Light Great Saint, was still not easy to completely suppress. The wild barbarian great saint's physical body was incredibly strong, even surpassing the former Tuolong great saint. He had few means, but his survival ability was extremely high because he simply couldn't die. However, under the constant suppression of Lin Yuan's external universe, coupled with the pure offensive divine skills known as Tier Heaven, the wild barbarian great saint only lasted for a few dozen breaths before being swiftly suppressed by Lin Yuan, just like the black light great saint. Dual origin great saint. Lin Yuan looked at the last great saint. Among the 9 chaos great saints, the dual origin great saint was definitely the most difficult to deal with, so Lin Yuan saved him for last. Galaxy great sage, I admit you are strong, but to suppress me like the black light? Absolutely impossible. The dual origin great saint showed a trace of madness, his form suddenly boiling in shades of green and gray, unleashing a desperate attack, instantly tearing open a narrow rift on the space-time barriers leading to the outside world. Buzz! In an instant, the dual origin great saint escaped through this tiny rift. Lin Yuan watched silently. His external universe was indeed terrifying, but the chaos evolutionary power mastered by the dual origin great saint was most adept at destroying spacetime. Tearing open the spacetime leading to Lin Yuan was very difficult, but in a desperate situation, tearing a rift to the outside world was possible. Swoosh! The dual origin great saint escaped to the outside and immediately shuttled toward the entrance, while his voice transmitted to Lin Yuan through spacetime. Galaxy great sage, I admit defeat this time, and will leave this universe immediately, never to approach within 10,000 cosmic eras, I swear. Lin Yuan pondered upon hearing this, and his initial intention to pursue and kill was suppressed. Although the dual origin great saint could barely escape, Lin Yuan could also pursue and kill. It was precisely because of this that the dual origin great saint immediately succumbed and swore after escaping. Dark Sky Heart. Glancing behind him, Lin Yuan noted that the Dark Sky Palace had already emerged, and chasing the dual origin great saint might lead to other changes. Lin Yuan stood silently, flipping his right hand. The wild barbarian great saint, black light great saint, Tianlu great saint, and the other 8 chaos great saints appeared not far away. At this moment, these 8 chaos great saints were completely suppressed, without any power to resist. Galaxy great sage. The black light great saint steadied himself and respectfully asked Lin Yuan, "What price must I pay for you to let me go?" Since Lin Yuan hadn't extinguished him immediately, he must have other plans in mind. "What price are you willing to pay?" Lin Yuan asked the chaos great saints with interest. For Lin Yuan, the most profitable approach was to exchange the main battle bodies of these chaos great saints for more resources and treasures. Directly killing? That would only yield bodily essence, but if it were an exchange, the conditions could be higher. In any case, even if these chaos great saints were killed, they would have survival measures to be resurrected, so using this for an exchange was what Lin Yuan intended to do. 1 billion cosmic stones. The black light great saint thought for a moment and tentatively offered 10 billion cosmic stones. Lin Yuan shook his head and looked at the wild barbarian great saint. You too, if you want me to let you go, gather 10 billion cosmic stones and deliver them. And you? Lin Yuan looked at Tianlu great saint and the other great saints, each with 5 billion cosmic stones. 5 billion cosmic stones? Tianlu great saint trembled. For a chaos great saint like him, 5 billion cosmic stones was an immense sum. As for you too, Lin Yuan's gaze fell on 9 Phoenix great saint and Shadow Demon great saint. Galaxy great sage. 9 Phoenix great saint and Shadow Demon great saint immediately responded to Lin Yuan. At this moment, 9 Phoenix great saint and Shadow Demon great saint were already prepared to be extorted. Unlike other senior chaos great saints, they only had one main battle body. If they lost it, they wouldn't be able to show their face until fully restored, having no ability to protect themselves. So as long as Lin Yuan's price was not excessively high, 9 Phoenix great saint and Shadow Demon great saint were prepared to agree first. I've heard about your grievances, continually battling since reaching the perfection of the chaos realm. Lin Yuan looked down at 9 Phoenix and Shadow Demon, speaking. Galaxy Great Sage, Shadow Demon once. 9 Phoenix Great Saint immediately began to explain. Lin Yuan nodded and suddenly asked, but have you considered that because of your battle shockwaves, numerous beings in one prematurely collapsing universe after another were affected? The beings within the universe? 9 Phoenix and Shadow Demon were somewhat stunned, not expecting Lin Yuan to ask such a question. Those ants, dead are dead, what does it matter? Shadow Demon Great Saint responded. 9 Phoenix Great Saint said nothing, but clearly agreed with Shadow Demon Great Saint's view. Fair enough. Lin Yuan nodded. He didn't continue speaking. A moment later, Shadow Demon Great Saint tentatively asked, Galaxy Great Sage, then what price do we need to pay? Before Shadow Demon Great Saint could finish, Lin Yuan glanced at him, noisy. The next moment, the bodies and souls of Shadow Demon Great Saint and 9 Phoenix Great Saint began to rapidly disintegrate into dust. Within just a few breaths, the 2 Chaos Great Saints were completely obliterated. Galaxy Great Sage, this, Tianlu Great Saint and other Chaos Great Saints trembled upon witnessing this scene. It's nothing. Lin Yuan shook his head. These 2 ants, dead are dead, what does it matter? P.S. Please vote for the monthly ticket, also, participate in the Black Myth Lottery. Currently, there are few monthly tickets, increasing the chances of winning if you participate if you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1160, Overwhelming Might Across Void Domains. Seeking monthly tickets at the beginning of the month, the blue-gray light tore through time and space, barely escaping from the silent battlefield. The Chaos Venerables observing from afar had not yet reacted when they heard the voice of the dual origin Great Saint rapidly spread through the fluctuations of time and space. The novel fire. Net asterisk website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Galaxy Great Saint, I admit defeat this time. I will leave this universe immediately and swear not to come near for 10 cosmic eras. After the brief encounter with Lin Yuan, the dual origin Great Saint had no further desires regarding this Xianhuang universe. What did it matter if its creator was an almost invincible Great Saint? His dual origin was simply no match for Lin Yuan. In front of Lin Yuan, he hardly managed to escape, let alone ensure his survival. If it wasn't for Lin Yuan dealing with black light and wild barbarian, causing the massive suppressive force of time and space around to disperse, the dual origin Great Saint was uncertain whether his desperate activation of the dual origin fusion power would have allowed him to escape as he did. Is that the dual origin Great Saint? Is the dual origin Great Saint admitting defeat? Who is the Galaxy Great Saint? Nonsense, who else could it be? Among the 10 Great Saints, except for the mysterious last one to appear, the other 9 all have titles. The Galaxy Great Saint is probably that mysterious Great Saint. The Chaos Venerables were instantly in an uproar. According to their speculations, the probability of the dual origin Great Saint emerging victorious among the 10 Great Saints was high. After all, this Great Saint's strength was indeed formidable and was the first to enter the Xianhuang universe. But now, the dual origin Great Saint was the first to escape and admit defeat? Galaxy Great Saint, never heard of it? Probably a Great Saint from incredibly ancient times. To force the dual origin Great Saint to admit defeat and swear not to approach this universe for 10 cosmic eras, the Galaxy Great Saint must have the power to slay the dual origin Great Saint. A Chaos Realm Peak Venerable concluded, if the strength was only slightly superior, the dual origin Great Saint wouldn't have been so panic-stricken and swearing to leave immediately. One must know that the suppressive force of time and space in this postnatal universe is so intense. Its creator must be extraordinary, even if it means abandoning the treasure that has emerged now. As long as the dual origin Great Saint had a bit of confidence, he would explore other regions. Swearing to leave directly implies that the dual origin Great Saint dares not linger too long. A slight pause would come at a cost. If the Galaxy Great Saint's strength is so formidable, Why didn't the dual origin great saint join forces with the other 8 great saints to resist? A chaos venerable voiced this doubt. How do you know they didn't join forces? The Chaos Realm Peak Venerable who came to a conclusion earlier was shocked. Maybe the 9 great saints already tried to join forces, but were still suppressed by the Galaxy Great Saint, and only the dual origin Great Saint barely escaped. The previous silence on the battlefield puzzled him. With 10 great saints inside, how could there be no sign of any movement? Now seeing the dual origin great saint's hasty escape, this Peak Venerable arrived at a deeper conclusion, which was that the Galaxy Great Saint's strength was overwhelming enough to crush the combined efforts of 9 great saints. Because of this, the aftermath of the battle could be easily suppressed, resulting in the outside world seeing an unusually quiet battlefield. The Galaxy Great Saint? Could it be an absolute great saint? The Chaos Realm Peak Venerable was secretly amazed, as 9 Chaos Great Saints joined forces, with 3 of them being powerful saints like dual origin. Yet, they were swept away by the Galaxy Great Saint, leaving this Peak Venerable to speculate whether the Galaxy Great Saint might be an absolute great saint. Outside the Xianxia universe, the blue-gray light stopped, forming the figure of the dual origin Great Saint. This Galaxy Great Saint, the dual origin Great Saint's expression was filled with fear, and at the same time, seeing Lin Yuan not pursuing, he let out a heavy sigh of relief. Fortunately, that treasure held back the Galaxy Great Saint, otherwise, my escape would not have been so easy. The dual origin Great Saint thought inwardly. From his brief encounter, he determined that Lin Yuan's method of distorting time and space was equally suited for pursuing enemies. That warped time and space could be compressed to a few hundred light-years to maximize suppression, or instantly expand to millions of light-years to hinder enemy escape. If Lin Yuan really pursued him, the dual origin Great Saint had no confidence in escaping with his life. Not a match, I am simply no match. Chaos Great Saint can be so strong? The dual origin Great Saint steadied himself, starting a review in his heart. In terms of time-space suppression, the Galaxy Great Saint far exceeded Black Light Great Saint's black light distortion. Under the cover of that warped space-time, even powerful beings like the dual origin Great Saint found it extremely difficult. Moreover, the Galaxy Great Saint's attacking abilities were terrifying. Just one grasp caused the Black Light Great Saint's black light domain to collapse directly. The Wild Barbarian Great Saint's formidable physique also weakened rapidly. With the suppression of twisted time-space and nearly the extreme attack methods of a Chaos Great Saint, Lin Yuan can easily sweep through strong beings at the level of Chaos Great Saints. These 2 capabilities complement each other, resulting in combat power far more than simply 1 + 1 = 2. In the view of the dual origin Great Saint, Lin Yuan has almost no weaknesses. Perhaps Lin Yuan is not yet an absolute great saint, nor a match for one. But for Chaos Great Saints like them, Lin Yuan's oppressive power is indistinguishable from that of an absolute great saint. Chaos Great Saints, due to the different paths they take, excel in different areas, yet Lin Yuan is nearly perfect. The only thing the dual origin Great Saint is unclear about is Lin Yuan's defense. Because under the suppression of twisted time-space, the dual origin Great Saint couldn't even get close to Lin Yuan, and all attacks were blocked and dissipated by the vast time-space. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1161. Overwhelming Might Across Void Domains, Seeking Monthly Tickets at the Beginning of the Month, _2". Although the losses were heavy, at least we retreated with our lives. Dual origin Great Saint sighed. With his understanding of causality, he naturally sensed that the causal lines of great saints like Wild Barbarian Great Saint and Black Light Great Saint still existed within the Xianxia universe. This means that these great saints' main battle bodies in the Xianxia universe have not yet died. In such an extreme suppression of space-time, the life and death of the suppressed Chaos Great Saints were at Lin Yuan's whim. Their survival indicated that Lin Yuan did not intend to kill them. Why did he not plan to kill them? Naturally, it was to gain more benefits. The main battle bodies of each Chaos Great Saint were formed at considerable cost. So the novel, Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. If possible, no Chaos Great Saint would want to abandon their main battle body. Lin Yuan's decision not to kill Black Light, Wild Barbarian, and the others could only mean that negotiations were taking place. I suppose Black Light and Wild Barbarian are being extorted by the Galaxy Great Saint. For some reason, Dual Origin Great Saint felt quite relieved. He had made considerable sacrifices to rush to the vicinity of the Xianhuang universe using the altar spirit. Now, having withdrawn from the Xianhuang universe with nothing to show for it, this journey was a complete loss. But compared to Black Light Great Saint and Wild Barbarian Great Saint, Dual Origin Great Saint felt somewhat lucky. At least while being extorted by the altar spirit, he didn't have to be extorted by Galaxy Great Saint as well. Outside the universe. Watching as the newly appointed Great Saints, Nine Phoenix Great Saint and Shadow Demon Great Saint, had their bodies and souls rapidly obliterated, the other nearby Chaos Great Saints couldn't help but shiver. What did Galaxy Great Saint mean by this? Rest assured, as long as you gather enough Chaos Stones to bring over, you can leave alive. Lin Yuan glanced over the many Great Saints and spoke. He directly obliterated Nine Phoenix Great Saint and Shadow Demon Great Saint, not even giving them a chance to negotiate. This was primarily due to personal grudges with these two Great Saints. The premature destruction of his home universe was a result of the collateral damage from these two Chaos Great Saints battles. If Lin Yuan's strength had progressed a bit slower, and he hadn't reached the 12th layer before the cosmic cataclysm, he might have perished along with the universe. Without reaching the 12th layer, the essence imprint of his life would continue to be bound within the river of time. During the cosmic cataclysm, the river of time would gradually collapse and dry up, eradicating all life essence imprints within it. No matter the strength of Lin Yuan's life essence, as long as it remained within the river of time, it would be destroyed in the collapse, per the rules of the Chaos Void. At that time, if Lin Yuan wanted to survive, he could only transfer his life's essence imprint to the inner universe of the 9 paramount beings of human civilization. However, with the premature arrival of the cosmic cataclysm, the hope for the paramount beings of human civilization to endure the cataclysm would inevitably diminish, and if the inner universe of the paramount being that housed Lin Yuan's essence imprint collapsed, he would still die. Normally, with a premature cosmic cataclysm, countless civilians of human civilization would undoubtedly perish heavily, and so would the paramount beings. Although all this changed because of Lin Yuan, allowing the human civilization group to smoothly survive the cosmic cataclysm, Lin Yuan had already marked these two Great Saints in his heart back then. Without the power previously, there was nothing Lin Yuan could do about the two Great Saints, so he had to endure. Now with these two Great Saints in his hands, Lin Yuan naturally seized the opportunity for revenge. Of course, there was another reason for Lin Yuan's action against Nine Phoenix and Shadow Demon. These newly appointed Great Saints had very limited resources they could offer. To reach the pinnacle of the Chaos Realm, Chaos Venerable had already exhausted numerous resources they had accumulated, and the two Great Saints had been continuously fighting since their breakthroughs, leaving no time to accumulate resources and Chaos Stones. The Chaos Great Saints that I once could only admire from afar have now become not so mighty. Lin Yuan thought with some emotion. At the same time, he looked around at the other Chaos Great Saints and smiled, saying, "They'll give you time to consider, but it won't be long." Based on the strength of each Chaos Great Saint, Lin Yuan set a price, such as 10 billion Chaos Stones for the powerful ones like Black Light and Wild Barbarian. Weaker Chaos Great Saints faced 5 billion or 3 billion Chaos Stones. By Lin Yuan's estimation, these costs were close to the acceptable limits for each Chaos Great Saint. Any more, and the Chaos Great Saints would prefer to abandon their main battle body rather than agree to the cost. The difficulty of cultivating a main battle body simply boiled down to the cost involved. If the cost became too high, exceeding the time and effort needed to cultivate a new body, the Chaos Great Saints would choose to cultivate a new main battle body. Thank you, Galaxy Great Saint. Wild Barbarian Great Saint and Black Light Great Saint exchanged a glance. With the involvement of 10 billion chaos stones, even if they wanted to gather them, it would take time. Ancient Ming Chaos Continent. Ever since discovering that the mysterious great saint who appeared last bore a remarkable resemblance to Galaxy, Ancient Ming Venerable began paying close attention to intelligence from within the Xianhuang universe. 10 great saints fought over a priceless treasure, and the mysterious great saint swept through the 9 others single-handedly, with only dual-origin great saint escaping and immediately swearing to leave the postnatal universe. And finally, dual-origin great saint swore, referring to that mysterious great saint as Galaxy Great Saint. Galaxy Great Saint? Galaxy? Ancient Ming Venerable was somewhat stupefied. If previously he had only suspected, without any concrete evidence, that the mysterious great saint was Galaxy, after all, he was not present to confirm this through personal observation. The images he received only felt familiar and similar. But now, Ancient Ming Venerable was almost certain that the mysterious great saint was indeed Galaxy. How could there be such a coincidence, with both resemblance and the same name? Galaxy? Ancient Ming Venerable was overwhelmingly shocked. Even though he knew that Lin Yuan was destined to stand atop the chaos void one day, it all happened so quickly. How long has it been? Fortunately, I have already established a good relationship with Galaxy Great Saint, and even without a positive bond, at least I wouldn't provoke resentment. Ancient Ming Venerable displayed a smile. When facing such formidable power, it's better to have no blame than no merit. Wasn't it because of my reminder? The young man in the black robe was also reviewing the intelligence about Galaxy Great Saint and couldn't resist claiming credit. Yes, your reminder was indeed timely back then. Ancient Ming Venerable acknowledged. This was true, for if not for the young man in the black robe, he wouldn't have noticed Lin Yuan back then at all. Not noticing meant he wouldn't pay special attention, and if this ancestor had an unpleasant encounter on the Ancient Ming Chaos Continent, wouldn't Ancient Ming have to take the fall? The battle within the Xianhuang universe, spread by observing Chaos Venerables, swept through the void domain like a hurricane, and the fame of Galaxy Great Saint resounded thoroughly throughout the Chaos Void. Initially, some Chaos Venerables and even Great Saints did not believe it, but as time passed, and as Dual Origin Great Saint, Black Light Great Saint, and other Chaos Great Saints did not actively deny it, many Venerable Saints and Great Saints immediately realized that the news might be true. Otherwise, why wouldn't Dual Origin Great Saint and Black Light Great Saint step forward? Xianhuang Universe. Lin Yuan stood there silently, as his external universe operated. Immense power of space-time continuously pressed towards the nearby Dark Sky Palace. Dark forces permeated around the Dark Sky Palace, capable of threatening the Chaos Great Saints. Even a strong entity like Dual Origin Great Saint would have to give their all to resist such power. Retrieving the Dark Sky Heart from the palace would take quite some time. But for Lin Yuan now, while not effortlessly, it was nearly so. Rumble. The power of the external universe swept forth, and the dark powers surrounding the Dark Sky Palace began to visibly obliterate and dissipate. After more than 10 breaths, the dark power surrounding the Dark Sky Palace was completely dispelled, leaving the Black Palace exposed before Lin Yuan. But Lin Yuan raised his right hand, reaching towards the Dark Sky Palace. When he drew it back, a crystal stone, exuding a profound dark aura and resembling a beating heart, appeared in Lin Yuan's palm. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1162. No help available. Request for beginning of the month guaranteed monthly votes. A hidden void secret realm. The fiery flames imbued with the power of resurrection burned, coalescing into the figure of the 9 Phoenix Great Saint. Why did the Galaxy Great Saint only target me and the Shadow Demon? The 9 Phoenix Great Saint's thoughts could not settle. As a wonder of life born from the Chaos Void, the 9 Phoenix Great Saint naturally possessed 2 avatars. The one wandering outside was his main combat body. As for the one hidden in this void secret realm, it was the 9 Phoenix Great Saint's other avatar. In addition, the 9 Phoenix Great Saint had laid out life-saving measures in many corners of the Chaos Void, so even if both avatars fell, he could resurrect using these measures. Is it because the battles between me and the Shadow Demon led to the premature cataclysm of cosmoses? The 9 Phoenix Great Saint mused to himself. Losing his main combat body was indeed a significant loss for him, but not unacceptable. When engaging in furious battle with the Shadow Demon Great Saint, the 9 Phoenix Great Saint was already prepared to lose his main combat body. Now that the main combat body had fallen, but so had the main combat body of the Shadow Demon Great Saint, this wasn't the worst outcome for the 9 Phoenix Great Saint. In fact, the 9 Phoenix Great Saint was quite satisfied with this result. Managing to take down a main combat body of the Shadow Demon Great Saint was a considerable success. The path of chaos power that the 9 Phoenix Great Saint developed focused on survival, normally only able to restrain the Shadow Demon Great Saint, making mutual destruction very difficult. What the 9 Phoenix Great Saint wanted to understand now was why the Galaxy Great Saint treated her and the Shadow Demon Great Saint differently compared to other Chaos Great Saints. Never mind, Galaxy Great Saint harbors murderous intent towards me and the Shadow Demon. Under such circumstances, if I continue to fight with the Shadow Demon, it may very likely attract the Galaxy Great Saint. A hint of madness appeared in the 9 Phoenix Great Saint's eyes. Her causal connection with the Shadow Demon Great Saint was deep, allowing her to sense the approximate location of the other's avatar via their causal link. There. The 9 Phoenix Great Saint looked in one direction, using causal sensing to determine the source of the Shadow Demon Great Saint's cause, which was in that location. The 9 Phoenix Great Saint's figure disappeared, heading directly towards the area where the Shadow Demon Great Saint was located. Does the Galaxy Great Saint sympathize with the beings of the cosmos affected and therefore targets us? The Shadow Demon Great Saint's true form had an unsightly expression, deducing this conclusion from Lin Yuan's last words. He found it more and more incredible. Such a powerful entity was actually this merciful? At that moment, the Shadow Demon Great Saint's expression changed, sharply raising his head to look in a certain direction. The causal sensing between him and the 9 Phoenix Great Saint was mutual. Just as she could sense him, the Shadow Demon Great Saint could naturally sense her as well. At this moment, the Shadow Demon Great Saint clearly noticed that the 9 Phoenix Great Saint's true form was approaching him at the fastest speed possible. Madwoman, 9 Phoenix, you lunatic. The Shadow Demon Great Saint felt a chill on his scalp. Normally, losing his main combat avatar, one should hide and recultivate it. Yet to deploy the last avatar without hesitation like the 9 Phoenix was simply incredible. Is this 9 Phoenix trying to draw the attention of the Galaxy Great Saint and intends to perish together with me? The Shadow Demon Great Saint immediately understood the 9 Phoenix Great Saint's intent. Even if deploying her last avatar, the 9 Phoenix Great Saint could still do nothing to the Shadow Demon. But as the two continued to fight, when the Galaxy Great Saint emerged from the Xianxia universe, he would surely notice them first. Given the Galaxy Great Saint's evident disdain for them earlier, he might just pursue them easily. The Novel Fire. T website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. The 9 Phoenix Great Saint could do nothing to him, but the Galaxy Great Saint could. However, in this case, the Shadow Demon Great Saint would die, and the 9 Phoenix Great Saint couldn't escape either. The 9 Phoenix Great Saint was acting with a mindset of mutual destruction to drag him down. Go! The Shadow Demon Great Saint didn't hesitate to traverse through space to a farther distance. Now he dared not entangle himself with the 9 Phoenix Great Saint. Ahead of a vast secret realm in a distant void domain, a tall figure formed, precisely the incarnation of the Wild Barbarian Great Saint. As the Wild Barbarian Great Saint appeared in this place, he looked at the secret realm from afar. The owner of this secret realm was a Chaos Great Saint, with strength surpassing that of the Wild Barbarian by a margin. So, the Wild Barbarian Great Saint's avatar entered the secret realm. Shi Guang brother. The Wild Barbarian Great Saint saw a three-eyed man. This three-eyed man was known as the Stone Light Saint, who had, hundreds of cosmic eras ago, rampaged across many void domains. His combat power was exceedingly strong, reaching the pinnacle of Chaos Great Saint. However, in the last 100 cosmic eras, the Stone Light Saint had hardly taken action, always in seclusion, preparing for a breakthrough to the 13th level. Wild Barbarian, you've come. The Stone Light Saint glanced at the Wild Barbarian Great Saint and spoke. The Wild Barbarian Great Saint nodded. Outside, he was uninhibited, but in front of the Stone Light Saint, he was quite well behaved. Stone Light Brother's strength is increasingly unfathomable. In my opinion, there is a great hope for breaking through to the 13th level. I hope you remember me when you become a life of time. The Wild Barbarian Great Saint immediately flattered him. 13th level? The Stone Light Saint's face showed a bit of a smile. No Chaos Great Saint would dislike hearing such words, and the Supreme Great Saint was no exception. Let's get straight to the point. Stone Light Saint looked at the Wild Barbarian Great Saint. Stone Light Brother should know about my recent ordeal. Wild Barbarian Great Saint immediately said, a postnatal universe emerged, and I rushed there with the power of the Eye of Myriad Laws. However, I was suppressed inside by an ancient Great Saint named Galaxy. Yes, I heard about it. Stone Light Saint nodded. That Galaxy Great Saint demands I hand over 10 billion Chaos Stones to release my main battle avatar. Stone Light Brother, you know I'm always broke. Where can I get 10 billion Chaos Stones? Wild Barbarian Great Saint sighed. Indeed. Stone Light Saint nodded. Wild Barbarian Great Saint looked at Stone Light Saint. Was he just going to nod? Stone Light Brother, I came to you to ask if you could mediate with the Galaxy Great Saint. With your strength, Galaxy Great Saint would surely give you face. Wild Barbarian Great Saint said, I don't demand to pay nothing, but 10 billion Chaos Stones are too much. At least Galaxy Great Saint could reduce it to 5 billion, and am willing to offer another billion as your reward. You want me to negotiate with Galaxy Great Saint? Stone Light Saint looked at Wild Barbarian Great Saint. What if I get suppressed by Galaxy Great Saint too? You get suppressed too? Wild Barbarian Great Saint was slightly stunned. With your strength, Stone Light Brother, it shouldn't be possible, right? Wild Barbarian, think again? Stone Light Saint smiled. Galaxy Great Saint managed to suppress 8 Great Saints including you, almost holding double source as well. I can't match up to that. Stone Light Saint looked self-mockingly at Wild Barbarian Great Saint. Wild Barbarian, I can't help you with this. Stone Light Brother. Wild Barbarian Great Saint became anxious. I can increase it to 2 billion Chaos Stones. No, 3 billion. I said I can't help. Stone Light Saint waved his hand, and this avatar of Wild Barbarian Great Saint was instantly moved outside the secret realm. Rumble. The entrance to the secret realm was rapidly closing. Stone Light Saint. Wild Barbarian Great Saint frowned. Having no other option, he could only seek help from the next Chaos Great Saint. Blacklight, you want me to help you? In a special, mysterious location, surrounded by a misty haze, a man with a blurry face sat upon a throne, looking down at the incarnation of Black Light Great Saint below. Yes. Back in the day, when we ventured together, I once saved you, and you said you owed me a favor. Black Light Great Saint looked at the man sitting on the throne. This Chaos Great Saint's power was already infinitely close to a Supreme Great Saint. If not for his unsuitable Chaos Power evolution path, he would already be a Supreme Great Saint. Yes, I owe you a favor. The man sitting on the throne nodded, but not for this matter. Not possible? Black Light Great Saint looked at him. Why don't you ask a Supreme Great Saint to step in? The man seated on the throne spoke. Ask a Supreme Great Saint? Black Light Great Saint shook his head. That would cost more than just paying 10 billion Chaos Stones directly. The cost of asking a Supreme Great Saint to intervene would surely exceed 10 billion Chaos Stones. Black Light Great Saint wasn't foolish and naturally wouldn't engage in such a losing trade. Change the request. The man on the throne looked down at Black Light Great Saint. Choose another matter. What else can I exchange for now? Black Light Great Saint frowned. My avatar is in the hands of Galaxy Great Saint. It's still possible to exchange. The man sitting on the throne spoke, for instance, letting me lend you a few billion chaos stones. After speaking, the man added, but it's just a loan, you'll have to repay it. Black Light Great Saint fell into silence. Xianxia Universe. Lin Yuan examined the dark sky heart in his hand. The dark sky heart is a treasure of the supreme Great Saint level. Once thoroughly refined, it can form the dark sky domain. The power of the dark sky domain far surpasses the black light domain of Black Light Great Saint. Even a common chaos Great Saint who obtains the dark sky heart can instantly become a peak Great Saint. If a supreme Great Saint refines the dark sky heart, they can form a dark sky world, whose power won't be much weaker than Lin Yuan's external universe. One must know, Lin Yuan's external universe originates from his internal universe, and the internal universe, after absorbing and merging the source of the fierce sun, has been refined into the second layer of infinite void, already comparable to the internal universe of a supreme Great Saint. The dark sky world condensed by the dark sky heart acts as a supplement for those supreme Great Saints who lack domain suppression methods. However, compared to Lin Yuan's internal universe, the upper limit of the dark sky world is fixed at its formation power, and Lin Yuan's internal universe still has a lot of room for improvement. Now in this Xianxia universe, there are only some chaos venerables left. Lin Yuan's thoughts moved slightly as he dispatched a large number of avatars to different regions of the universe. Since all Chaos Great Saints were dealt with, Lin Yuan naturally wouldn't let go of the many treasures in the Xianxia universe. At the very least, all the treasures recorded on that beast skin map must be obtained. Hundreds of avatars went to collect treasures scattered throughout the universe. Meanwhile, Lin Yuan's true form headed directly to the deepest part of the Xianxia universe, towards that tomb. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1163, Xianxia Mausoleum, Seeking Early Month's Minimum Monthly Ticket. When Lin Yuan first entered the Xianxia universe, he did not send out incarnations to search far and wide. He was worried about exposing the locations of the treasures and wonders recorded on the beast skin map. The outer regions of the Xianxia universe, where most treasures and wonders are found, are extremely secretive. Even for Lin Yuan, without the guidance of the beast skin map, it would be difficult to find them in a short time. The same goes for other great saints. Sending out incarnations to search at this time would simply point the way for other chaos great saints. But now, throughout the Xianxia universe, aside from Lin Yuan, there are only some chaos venerables. With Lin Yuan's current strength, even if he sends out hundreds of incarnations, each can maintain strength close to a chaos realm venerable. Dealing with those chaos venerables is not a problem. Of course, those chaos venerables also wouldn't dare to contend with Lin Yuan. Are you joking? Haven't you seen the fate of the dual origin Great Saint, Black Light Great Saint, and other chaos Great Saints? Internal universe. While heading to the Xianxia Mausoleum, Lin Yuan also channeled a trace of his consciousness into his internal universe. I wonder if this dark sky heart will have any effect on me. Lin Yuan looked at the dark and deep crystal stone in front of him. While other chaos great saints generally lack means comparable to the dark sky domain. As soon as the dark sky domain was condensed, it surpassed the black light domain of the Black Light Great Saint. Thus, even if many chaos great saints obtain the dark sky heart, they wouldn't consider if it was useful to them. It is obvious that possessing such a method for suppressing and trapping enemies is what many chaos great saints dream of. The wild barbarian great saint, in terms of pure combat power, is not weaker than the Black Light Great Saint, but the Black Light Great Saint looks down on him, considering him a mere brute. What is the reliance? Isn't it the Black Light domain? Lin Yuan could suppress the Black Light Great Saint, Wild Barbarian Great Saint, and other 8 Great Saints, relying on powers like the External Universe domain. SEA the Novelier. NT website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Without the External Universe, Even if Lin Yuan's overall combat power surpasses the 8 Chaos Great Saints, it would be difficult to suppress them all. However, when it comes to domain spacetime, Lin Yuan already has the external universe, worrying whether the dark sky heart would overlap with his methods. Let's refine it and see. After pondering for a while, Lin Yuan immediately began to refine the heart. A treasure of the unparalleled great saint level like the dark sky heart is best used on oneself. As for trading it, unless it truly has no effect on him, Lin Yuan would not choose to trade it away. Rumbling, the vast cosmic force began refining that small, dark, and deep crystal stone, causing pure dark sky origin source to surge out. This dark sky origin source is extremely magical and quickly absorbed and devoured by the internal universe. Useful. Joy appeared on Lin Yuan's face. As he slowly refined the dark sky heart, he clearly felt the foundation of his internal universe being enhanced at a certain speed. After hundreds of breaths, Lin Yuan opened his eyes. At this moment, the dark and deep crystal had completely disappeared, and simultaneously, the power of Lin Yuan's internal universe had surged, increasing by at least 20%. A 20% increase in power, not bad. Lin Yuan nodded slightly. Ordinary Chaos Great Saints refining the dark sky heart would experience a power surge of several tens of times, reaching the level of peak Great Saints. Yet Lin Yuan only increased his internal universe's power by 20%. It seems less beneficial, but it's important to note that Lin Yuan is substantially more powerful than ordinary Chaos Great Saints. Different starting points naturally lead to different enhancements. If it were now, the dual origin Great Saint shouldn't be able to escape my external universe. Lin Yuan thought to himself. The dual origin Great Saint recklessly burned the power of dual origin fusion, tearing a rift to the outside world, and thus managed to escape. This left Lin Yuan rather regretful. After all, that was 10 billion chaos stones. And the dual origin Great Saint certainly carried treasure weapons, making it not as simple as just 10 billion chaos stones. If it weren't for safety, Lin Yuan really wanted to pursue and kill them. The true form of Lin Yuan traversed the Xianhuang universe with impunity. With the guidance of the beast skin map, Lin Yuan was aware of and thus avoided some dangers in the Xianhuang universe, saving a lot of time. Quickly, Lin Yuan reached the deepest part of the Xianhuang universe. It was empty here, and the surroundings were shrouded in strands of Xianhuang qi. In the Xianhuang universe, such Xianhuang qi is everywhere, making Lin Yuan feel very comfortable. Within this omnipresent Xianhuang qi environment, the Xianhuang physique seemed to have returned to its origin. Lin Yuan carefully observed his surroundings, a look of confusion on his face. Where's the mausoleum? Comparing the beast skin map, according to its instructions, this should be where the mausoleum is located, but currently, there are no traces of a mausoleum. Does it exist deep in space-time? Lin Yuan continued to observe, scanning through layers of space-time, but found nothing. This beast skin map shouldn't be wrong. Lin Yuan pondered. The authenticity of the beast skin map had been verified multiple times. Whether it was the Life Divine Stone on the Life Origin Star, or other various treasures and wonders, and the Dark Sky Heart, etc. All matched the indications on the beast skin map. Moreover, Lin Yuan's many incarnations were currently following the map's guidance to gather numerous treasures and wonders in various regions. This essentially confirmed the beast skin map. Could it be that there are other conditions to enter the Xianhuang mausoleum? Lin Yuan's heart stirred slightly. Since it's called a mausoleum, it's certainly a place Xianhuang valued, and it's highly possible it's not open to other great saints. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1164, Xianhuang Mausoleum, Seeking Early Month's Minimum Monthly Ticket, _2. Why does Lin Yuan know about this mausoleum? It's because of the beast skin map he obtained. Even other Chaos Great Saints, though knowing this universe was created by Emperor Xian, wouldn't be aware of the mausoleum's existence. The beast skin map was placed inside a golden box, remaining unopened through countless cosmic eras. Lin Yuan could open the box and obtain the map only by relying on the Xianhuang seal deep in his soul. Xianhuang seal? Lin Yuan appeared contemplative. He began releasing the aura of the Xianhuang seal from his soul. Buzz buzz buzz. As the aura of the Xianhuang seal spread, like ripples on a water surface, the space-time in front of Lin Yuan rippled and a majestic palace emerged. This majestic palace, when it first appeared, seemed like a flower in a mirror, a moon in the water, utterly unreal, but as time faded, the illusion peeled away, revealing startling reality. Such a mastery of space-time. Lin Yuan felt shocked. He had once seen the image of Emperor Xian creating 33,333 Xianhuang secret realms with a thought. That was the pinnacle of ninth realm space-time mastery. Yet the way this majestic palace appeared now seemed to surpass the creation of Xianhuang secret realms from before. Could Emperor Xian have made further advancements in space-time mastery at the end? Lin Yuan speculated. Undoubtedly, the time when Emperor Xian left this mausoleum must be after establishing the Xianhuang secret realms. During that period, it was perfectly natural for Emperor Xian to have made progress in space-time mastery comprehension. Let's go in. Lin Yuan looked at the majestic palace that had appeared, paused and took a deep breath, then stepped inside. The interior of the palace was equally vast and empty, the tall walls engraved with numerous murals, depicting a young emperor leaving his innate universe, eventually establishing a kingdom within the chaos void, with countless void domain experts paying homage during its peak. Emperor Xian emerged from an innate universe born from the chaos void? Lin Yuan contemplated. Until this point, most chaos venerables he had encountered were born within the chaos void, either as powerful miraculous beings or as a tribe's force within the void. As for experts emerging from innate universes and reaching the level of chaos venerables, they were few, let alone absolute great saints like Emperor Xian. Lin Yuan continued to look at the subsequent murals. The murals depicted Emperor Xian becoming overwhelmingly powerful, sweeping across void domains, with ancient great saints surrendering to him in admiration. Invincible great saint, Emperor Xian undoubtedly possesses the strength of an invincible great saint. Lin Yuan's face grew solemn. Though the mural images were simple, it was clear that the absolute great saints were no match for Emperor Xian. Lin Yuan looked at the final murals, which recorded Emperor Xian entering a dangerous place unexpectedly, and upon returning, immediately creating the Xianhuang universe, followed by seclusion, aiming for 13th stage. Strange, Lin Yuan frowned. The Eye of Myriad Laws had mentioned that Emperor Xian was incredibly close to becoming an invincible great saint. Now it seemed that this closeness wasn't in terms of power but of time. As long as Emperor Xian continued living, his fame would spread, garnering recognition from all absolute great saints, and subsequently becoming the invincible great saint of that era. Yet the Xianhuang great saint did not do so. Instead, he chose to advance to the 13th stage immediately. Because of the dangerous place he entered last? Lin Yuan considered the final murals. It was after emerging from that dangerous place that Emperor Xian underwent this change. The Moyu Tower Master mentioned that Emperor Xian once entered a dimensional rift? Could that dangerous place be the dimensional rift? Lin Yuan speculated internally. While Lin Yuan was pondering, a voice suddenly echoed beside his ear. Are you curious about what His Majesty experienced then? Why he chose to aim for the 13th stage after returning from that dangerous place? The figure was extremely old yet carried a certain naivety, generating an inherently contradictory feeling. Lin Yuan was startled, turning to look beside him. At some point, a man in a Xin yellow robe stood silently next to Lin Yuan, watching the murals with him. Who are you? Lin Yuan's expression grew solemn, yet he wasn't overly surprised. If this mausoleum was indeed left by Emperor Xian, then it would certainly come with numerous setups. The Moyu Tower Master could activate a sealed consciousness even after advancing to the 13th stage. Emperor Xian, whose power was no less than the Moyu Tower Master, surely could do the same. You probably guessed it. I am the tomb spirit of this mausoleum, created by His Majesty before aiming for the 13th stage. The man smiled at Lin Yuan. Normally, this mausoleum doesn't emerge. Even if the outside Xianhuang universe is destroyed, it wouldn't affect the mausoleum. Unless something unexpected happens, this mausoleum will continue existing until... The man's tone grew softer, as if he recalled something, choosing not to continue. But before aiming for the 13th stage, His Majesty left 9 treasure boxes. The man watched Lin Yuan. Treasure boxes? Lin Yuan immediately realized that the so-called treasure boxes referred to the golden box he had obtained. Inside the boxes are maps of the mausoleum and the Xianhuang universe. Using the map, one can locate the area of the mausoleum, then actively release the map and Xianhuang seal's aura, thereby revealing the mausoleum. The man paused for a moment and continued, but 2 prerequisites are needed to open the treasure box. First, one must be His Majesty's disciple. You inherited a Xianhuang's secret realm, which fits the identity. The man smiled. Lin Yuan nodded. Then he looked a bit confused. What about the second condition? The second condition is His Majesty aiming for 13th stage, 3 million cosmic eras later. The man looked at Lin Yuan, the disciple's identity, and 3 million cosmic eras later, the right identity at the right time, both needed. If the time hasn't arrived, then even a disciple of His Majesty couldn't open the box, nor could obtain the map inside. Vice versa. 3 million cosmic eras? Lin Yuan's mind was filled with thoughts. Previously, he had no specific concept of the era in which Emperor Xian lived, only knew it was unimaginably ancient, millions of cosmic eras before. But now, it became clear how far back in time it was. At least in an era 3 million cosmic eras ago. 3 million cosmic eras, with such a long time past, if His Majesty still hasn't advanced to 13th stage, then it's probably impossible to break free from the time loop. At this point, if there's still a disciple of His Majesty outside and if this disciple entered the Xianhuang universe, the man watched Lin Yuan, then the mausoleum can be summoned, inheriting all that His Majesty left. Lin Yuan stood silently listening. He seemed to understand. Even someone as strong as Emperor Xian had no confidence in reaching 13th stage. So he purposely set up this mausoleum as a last resort. Then why did His Majesty hastily aim for 13th stage? Lin Yuan voiced his confusion. With Emperor Xian's power, he could certainly wait a while longer, at least claiming the title of Invincible Great Saint before aiming for 13th stage. Because in that dangerous place, His Majesty acquired a certain ultimate treasure, which requires the power of a time loop to suppress. The man shook his head, saying, so His Majesty aimed for 13th stage ahead of time. Actually, it hardly mattered to His Majesty. He already reached the limits of the Chaos realm, waiting another 100 cosmic eras? 1,000 cosmic eras? Pointless. As for the title Invincible Great Saint, His Majesty cared little for it. Upon hearing this, Lin Yuan was secretly astonished. An ultimate treasure needing the power of a time loop for suppression? Enough. Your conditions are met. You can inherit all that His Majesty left. The man extended his right hand, flipping it lightly. In an instant, the surrounding space-time began to shake. Lin Yuan felt the world change, brought into a magnificent hall. Where is this? Sir, the Novel Fire, net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Lin Yuan looked around, his pupils slightly narrowing. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1165 Arrival of the Peerless Great Saint. Request for monthly tickets at the beginning of the month. So many treasures. Lin Yuan glanced in all directions. In the grand hall, countless treasures floated in the air. These treasures, be they rare wonders or weapons, etc., each treasure was surrounded by the power of space-time, suppressing any strange phenomena from the treasures themselves that would have otherwise pierced the sky. Even an invincible great saint couldn't possibly own so many treasures, Lin Yuan mused inwardly. Each treasure in the hall was at the level of the dark sky heart, each belonging to an invincible great saint tier. Various rare wonders, materials, and even many coveted great elixirs desired by invincible great saints were neatly arranged in the corners of the hall. Naturally, the tomb spirit said with pride, how can His Majesty compare to those invincible great saints? With His Majesty's power, the many dangerous ruins of the Chaos Void have long been explored completely, thus yielding plentiful rewards. I see. Lin Yuan nodded. The Chaos Void contains many ruins, the most famous among them being the 9 great ruins like the Taiyuan ruins. These 9 ruins are all associated with 13-tier time beings. When Lin Yuan was still in his home universe, the white paper that could reduce dimensions erupted from the depths of the Taiyuan ruins. These ruins are filled with many dangers, yet also nurture countless opportunities. If one's strength is adequate, exploring these ruins will undoubtedly be profitable. Among these treasures are 33 invincible great saint tier weapons, 62 rare wonders of the same tier. The tomb spirit continued, were it not for His Majesty distributing many treasures among his followers before his struggle to achieve the 13th tier, there would be many more now. Although His Majesty Shenhuang was hasty in deciding to strive for the 13th tier, he made many preparations. To establish the Shenhuang kingdom, His Majesty Shenhuang fiercely clashed with many invincible great saints. While His Majesty Shenhuang was present, those invincible great saints naturally dared not make a move, but if His Majesty Shenhuang were to attempt reaching the 13th tier and remained in the shackles of time cycles for a long period, then, those invincible great saints who had once harbored enmity against His Majesty Shenhuang would certainly act to settle scores with the profound Shenhuang lineage. Therefore, before striving for the 13th tier, His Majesty Shenhuang dispersed many disciples and followers of the profound Shenhuang lineage. That is, Lin Yuan's gaze scanned over each treasure in the Grand Hall but quickly fell upon the highest platform. On it, there lay 3 weapons, a fist-sized seal, a golden suit of armor, and a golden sword. These 3 weapons gave Lin Yuan a feeling different from the others. Indistinctly, there was a sense of familiarity. Those are the Shenhuang seal, the armor of Shenhuang, and the Shenhuang sword, the life weapons crafted by His Majesty, and the strongest among the various weapons. The tomb spirit spoke, these 3 weapons are naturally yours as well. Lin Yuan gazed at the Shenhuang seal, armor of Shenhuang, and the Shenhuang sword, already informed by the spirit of the Shenhuang secret realm about His Majesty Xuanwang's primary battle weapons. Indeed, they were these 3. The Shenhuang seal is a suppression-type weapon. In the hands of His Majesty Shenhuang, one seal can shroud the heavens, and even invincible great saints dare not directly block it. And the armor of Shenhuang further combines physical defense, soul defense, and mental will defense, truly an exceptional all-around defensive weapon. As for the Shenhuang sword, it is an ultimate attacking weapon. In the hands of His Majesty Shenhuang, the Shenhuang sword has extinguished not just one invincible great saint's flesh and soul. Of course, extinguishing an invincible great saint's flesh and soul doesn't imply completely killing them, but it definitely inflicts severe injury. These treasures are all mine. What if His Majesty later breaks free from the time cycles? Lin Yuan hesitated slightly. Other treasures aside, but the Shenhuang seal, armor of Shenhuang, Shenhuang sword are His Majesty Xuanwang's life weapons, similar to Lin Yuan's origin clock. What are life weapons? They are as bound as kin, equivalent to a familial relationship. Over 30 million cosmic eras have passed since His Majesty broke free from the time cycles. The tomb spirit shook its head gently. The earlier the break from time cycles occurs, the greater the hope. Surpassing 100 cosmic eras sees hope considerably reduced. Exceeding 1,000 cosmic eras, there's virtually no hope. And to surpass over 30 million cosmic eras? Moreover, if His Majesty really breaks free from the time cycles, becoming a time being, would he even care about these things? The tomb spirit said. True. Lin Yuan nodded. Indeed so. Even if His Majesty Shenhuang escapes the time cycles in the future, with the status of a 13-tier time being, he likely wouldn't regard these treasures. Then I won't hold back. Lin Yuan promptly gathered up the numerous treasures within the Grand Hall. The tomb spirit watched quietly without any hindrance. Ultimately, After hesitating for a while, the tomb spirit still spoke. As for the supreme treasure by which His Majesty left the suppression of time cycles, the tomb spirit reached out, and a Xian yellow bead appeared before him. Is this the supreme treasure? Lin Yuan's expression grew solemn. He speculated the final supreme treasure His Majesty obtained likely relates to the 13th-tier time being, otherwise, it wouldn't require the power of time cycles to suppress. No. The tomb spirit shook its head. No. Lin Yuan was slightly puzzled. Wasn't the Xian yellow bead the supreme treasure? Then why did the tomb spirit specifically bring it out? But as long as this bead is crushed, it can yield that supreme treasure. After a long silence, the tomb spirit finally spoke. This was an order given to him by His Majesty Xianhuang before his struggle for the 13th tier, as the spirit created by His Majesty Xianhuang. The tomb spirit cannot disobey any order from His Majesty Xianhuang. Crush it, and you can gain that supreme treasure? Lin Yuan was very curious, scrutinizing the Xian yellow bead closely. In a vague sense, Lin Yuan perceived this bead to be suffused with the power of time, albeit incredibly weak. Indeed. The tomb spirit nodded before saying, however, I hope you refrain from crushing it for now. That treasure holds great importance. Even His Majesty relied on the 13th tier breakthrough coupled with descending time cycles to temporarily suppress it. If you crush it prematurely, danger may arise. The tomb spirit looked at Lin Yuan. Moreover, I personally, that is, me personally, do not wish for you to crush it too quickly. His Majesty Xuanwang's original command left for him was to crush the yellow bead immediately once the successor arrived and inherited everything. But the tomb spirit instinctively did not want to do this, knowing what it signified. Understood. Lin Yuan nodded. He could discern that the tomb spirit was reluctant to have this yellow bead crushed. Although unaware of the reasons, Lin Yuan did not plan to act contrary. His journey to the Xianhuang universe had already yielded ample rewards. The numerous mystical treasures outside the tomb, and so many treasure weapons within, including His Majesty Xuanwang's main battle weapon, all had been gained. Lin Yuan was already quite satisfied. As for that supreme treasure acquired by His Majesty Xianhuang, the fact that it compelled His Majesty Xianhuang to advance prematurely to the 13th tier implies its significance. Even if the tomb spirit asked him to crush the yellow bead now, Lin Yuan would consider it cautiously and, finally, most probably choose not to crush it. Even if he had to crush it, he would wait until he stepped into the Chaos Realm or thoroughly cultivated to the peak of the Chaos Realm. With Lin Yuan's foundation, if he cultivates to the peak of the Chaos Realm, he may not necessarily reach the invincible Great Saint level, but it would probably be close. With a little more accumulation, he would become the strongest invincible Great Saint in the history of Chaos Void. Alright, this tomb is also a weapon. You can refine it now, the tomb spirit spoke. After refining, leave the Xianhuang universe quickly. Leave the Xianhuang universe? Lin Yuan vaguely sensed that ever since this tomb manifested, the deep-seated space-time collapse of the Xianhuang universe seemed to hasten. Okay. Lin Yuan nodded. Meanwhile, outside the Xianhuang universe, the Chaos Venerables haven't left. Though they dare not enter, they want to wait outside for a while longer, to see when the mysterious galaxy Great Saint would emerge. Suddenly, a remote space-time silently began to permeate with an enigmatic aura. This aura made the rules of the Chaos Void retreat and form a completely new set of rules, distinct from those of Chaos Void. What's happening? I can't sense the external rule fluctuations. Why does it feel like new unexplored fluctuations are emerging? Has a peerless Great Saint arrived by a thought turning into void? The many Chaos Venerables' expressions changed drastically. The standing of a peerless Great Saint can form a world of its own rule domain, in which the peerless Great Saint creates rules favorable to oneself. For example, the peerless Great Saint rule within a domain world disallows void traversing, so void traversing becomes impossible. Of course, the rules set by the peerless Great Saint must also be followed by themselves. Enemies cannot traverse the void, and neither can the peerless Great Saint. Despite such limitations, These means of reversing rules put the strength of peerless great saints beyond that of chaos great saints. Xianxia the Novel Fire. Net ** website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Is it them too? In distant twisted spacetime, the eye of myriad laws and other special entities sensed something and gazed toward distant spacetime. Weren't these two always in a deep slumber? Yes, I recall they had a grudge with His Majesty Xianhuang. After over 30 million cosmic eras, still planning for revenge? The halved long blade spoke, somewhat surprised. Most peerless great saints and even the chaos great saints eventually choose to advance to the 13th tier. But still a minority of peerless great saints choose not to, opting instead to sleep through cosmic eras. Choosing revenge over advancing to the 13th tier? The eye of myriad laws also looked from afar. Ancient Ming Chaos Continent. Star Tier Fragment World. Lin Yuan Taiyin primordial spirits sat cross-legged. At this moment, Lin Yuan suddenly opened his eyes. Is the pavilion master of 10,000 Paths Pavilion seeking me? Lin Yuan's mind stirred subtly as the pavilion master of 10,000 Paths Pavilion, seeking audience outside, appeared before him. Galaxy. The pavilion master of 10,000 Paths Pavilion opened an eye suddenly in the middle of the brow, its pupil a pale gold, exuding an air of supremacy. Eye of myriad laws. Lin Yuan's expression turned slightly stern, immediately realizing the pavilion master standing before him was possessed by the eye of myriad laws, who now appeared had to be the eye of myriad laws itself. What business do you have with me? Lin Yuan asked solemnly. The personal visit of the eye of myriad laws surely signified major happenings. You should still be inside the Xianhuang universe, correct? Yes. Lin Yuan nodded. Leave quickly. The eye of myriad laws looked at Lin Yuan. Two peerless great saints are proceeding there. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1166 Hunshao and Yulin. Please subscribe. Two absolute saints? Upon hearing the words, Lin Yuan frowned slightly. The emergence of the Xianhuang universe attracting a large number of chaos venerables and several chaos great saints is entirely normal. But absolute saints? Search * the Nephire. * website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Firstly, compared to the chaos great saints, the number of absolute saints is much fewer. The probability of an absolute saint appearing near a newly emerged postnatal universe in the dispersed chaos void is almost negligible. Great saints like Black Light and Dual Origin, among others, manage to come over through various means because they happen to be within 10,000 void domains around the emerging Xianhuang universe. Hence, they could afford the price for the Eye of Myriad Laws and the ancient altar spirit to teleport them. If it were farther, the cost would increase significantly. Within the range of 10,000 void domains, there would likely be about 8 or 9 chaos great saints. As for absolute saints, even in 10 million or a billion void domains, it's almost impossible for an absolute saint to appear. Most absolute saints hide in mysterious special places within the chaos void, seldom contacting the outside world easily. For an absolute saint, they can create their own postnatal universe unless it is explicitly known that this postnatal universe comes from His Majesty Xianhuang, who is an absolute saint. Otherwise, they are unlikely to come personally. According to the Eye of Myriad Laws, are there currently 2 absolute saints approaching the Xianhuang universe? Absolute saints? And 2 at a time? Don't doubt, these 2 absolute saints have a grudge against that kid Xianhuang. The Eye of Myriad Laws shook slightly. Back when Xianhuang was attempting the 13th tier, after 10,000 cosmic eras, when it was clear that the chances of advancing to the 13th tier were slim, it was these 2 absolute saints who pushed the decline of the profound Xianhuang line. So that's how it is. Lin Yuan understood suddenly. Although he didn't know the specific deeds of His Majesty Xianhuang in the Chaos Void, it was obviously extremely domineering. To call oneself His Majesty, How could one not be domineering? Being domineering naturally leads to many enemies, who dare not emerge when you are alive, but when you attempt the 13th tier and lack hope of escaping the cycle of time, they secretly stir up trouble to take revenge. After the Moyu Tower Master attempted the 13th tier, the rapid decline of the Magic Jade Tower was probably for this reason. Of course, every great saint will arrange everything for their subordinates before attempting the 13th tier, rather than saying that the profound Xianhuang line and the Magic Jade Tower were forced to decline. It's more like they chose to fade away with time. What do these two absolute saints want to do when they come? Completely eradicate the Xianhuang universe? Lin Yuan asked. Pretty much. The Eye of Myriad Laws nodded. I didn't expect, after more than 30 million cosmic eras, that Hunshao and Jade Qilin still hold a grudge. Great Saint Hunshao, Jade Qilin Great Saint. These names of the two absolute saints have almost faded in the history of time. Only a special existence like the Eye of Myriad Laws, which has witnessed nearly the entire past and present of the Chaos Void, knows the details about them. What should I do? Lin Yuan immediately asked. Although Lin Yuan could suppress formidable great saints like Dual Origin and Blacklight, it doesn't mean he's equivalent to an absolute saint. Lin Yuan achieved this through his nearly flawless abilities, domain suppression, and various offensive means, completely restraining most Chaos great saints. However, if facing absolute saints, Lin Yuan has no confidence. In such a situation, Lin Yuan naturally wouldn't choose to confront head-on. Where in the Xianhuang universe are you currently? As long as you can come out within 10 breaths, I can send you away before Hunshao and Jade Qilin arrive. The Eye of Myriad Laws said. The entire Xianhuang universe is filled with the rules set by His Majesty Xianhuang. The Eye of Myriad Laws, such a special existence, wouldn't enter such a place easily, at most observing from outside. 10 breaths. Lin Yuan frowned. I'm in the deepest part of the universe. I can't come out in 10 breaths. Not to mention 10 breaths, even 100 or 1,000 breaths wouldn't suffice for Lin Yuan. It took him several months to reach the depths of the Xianhuang universe. Can't come out. The Eye of Myriad Laws looked at Lin Yuan. Still in the deepest part of the Xianhuang universe? The Eye of Myriad Laws also felt troubled. How are your gains in the Xianhuang universe? The Eye of Myriad Laws knew about Lin Yuan receiving His Majesty Zuowang's inheritance, guessing he should have great gains inside. Not bad. Lin Yuan nodded. Not just not bad, Lin Yuan had collected almost all the treasures, rare items, and weapons within the Xianhuang universe, even obtaining His Majesty Zuowang's personal weapon. If it's just not bad, then I'd suggest you hand over everything you've gained in the Xianhuang universe, and I'll mediate. Jade Qilin and Hunshao might show some leniency and let you go once. The Eye of Myriad Laws suggested, even if Lin Yuan obtained the inheritance from His Majesty Xianhuang, he's ultimately not a member of the profound Xianhuang line from that era. Even though Jade Qilin and Hunshao have immense hatred towards the profound Xianhuang line, taking a step back and voluntarily handing over all the gains would prevent them from taking extreme actions. Even absolute saints would have some qualms considering the Eye of Myriad Laws' relationship with life at the 13th tier, even if it can't directly meddle with the causes and effects in the Chaos Void. Hand over all the gains? Lin Yuan frowned tightly. This time, the gains within the Xianhuang universe were enormous for him. Was he to give them up just like that? Lin Yuan was naturally unwilling. If you're really unwilling to hand over the gains, the Eye of Myriad Laws noticed Lin Yuan's thoughts, immediately saying, then let me mediate directly, but if you show no gesture, Jade Qilin and Hunshao might not heed my words. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1167 Hunshao and Yulin, please subscribe. _2 For an absolute saint, a special entity like the Eye of Myriad Laws is at most something to be wary of, but fear? Far from it. After all, the Eye of Myriad Laws cannot intervene directly, while an absolute saint has essentially reached the pinnacle of the chaos void. The absolute saint dares not provoke the eye of myriad laws, fearing to attract the attention of the life behind it, but the eye of myriad laws cannot force any absolute saint to do anything. Then please. Lin Yuan looked at the eye of myriad laws and said with a slightly solemn tone. I can only try. There's no guarantee that Jade Qilin or Hunshao will listen to me. The eye of myriad laws said directly. Over the long years, he has formed good relations with many absolute saints, but to have them oppose two absolute saints, especially those from more than 30 million cosmic eras ago? It's difficult. And it's already too late. Great Saint Jade Qilin and Great Saint Hunshao dared not cause trouble while Xianhuang was alive, but that does not mean these two absolute saints are weak. On the contrary, Great Saint Jade Qilin and Great Saint Hunshao are considered powerful among absolute saints. The ability to endure under the cosmic suppression of an almost invincible great saint like Xianhuang for so many cosmic eras is not something an ordinary absolute saint can accomplish. Outside the Xianhuang universe, two figures appeared silently. These two figures stood calmly, and the rules of space-time and the Great Tao all retreated, permeated by an entirely new rule of the Great Tao covering from themselves. Each chaos venerable shivered in fear, trembling under the invisible aura. Xianhuang universe? This is the universe created by Xianhuang. It's been so long since I felt this kind of aura. The figure on the left, wearing jade armor and with an ancient gaze, looked at the distant entrance of the Xianhuang universe, his voice traveling through time and space. At that moment, all beings who heard the voice had their minds and wills affected, twisted, as though they would completely submit to the voice's owner. Erase the Xianhuang universe, and there won't be much trace left of Xianhuang in this chaos void. The fear in our hearts will dissipate significantly, and then we can attempt to break through to the 13th stage. The other figure spoke up. The first to speak among these two figures was Great Saint Jade Qilin, and next was Great Saint Hunshao. Breaking through to the 13th stage will face time loops. Not only will it be tests we've never encountered before, but they will also target our psychological weaknesses. Great Saint Jade Qilin said in a low voice. For these two absolute saints, Xianhuang has already become something akin to a heart demon. Whether it was Lin Yuan or other great saints, upon entering the Xianhuang universe, they usually integrated their presence into the universe. However, these two presences were making themselves transcend the universe, even beginning to replace the laws and operations of the Xianhuang universe. Swish! Lin Yuan immediately stowed away the tomb spirit and simultaneously began communicating with the Eye of Myriad Laws. In no time, Great Saint Jade Qilin and Great Saint Hunshao descended into the deepest part of the universe. Did not expect its Xianhuang remnants. Great Saint Jade Qilin glanced at Lin Yuan and instantly recognized the aura indicating Lin Yuan practiced the evolutionary path of Xianhuang. From the time they entered the Xianhuang universe until now, the two peerless great saints had only spent 10 breaths, unaffected in the slightest by the time-space suppression within the Xianhuang universe. Two great saints. Lin Yuan spoke, with the exterior universe operating, resisting the oppression of the two peerless great saints. Interesting. Great Saint Hunshao gazed down at Lin Yuan, a smile appearing on his face. Throughout so many cosmic eras, we have eradicated many Xianhuang remnants. You are the most powerful of them. Buzz. At this moment, virtual air breath drew into shape, forming a giant eye. Hunshao, Jade Qilin. The Eye of Myriad Laws looked at the two peerless great saints. He was reluctant to enter the Xianhuang universe, but it wasn't impossible for him to do so. CTH Ire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Eye of Myriad Laws? What are you doing coming in? Great Saint Hunshao appeared surprised. Perhaps other entities were unaware of their feud with Zuowang's lineage, but the Eye of Myriad Laws certainly understood, so why bother joining at this moment? The galaxy has causation with our 10,000 Paths Pavilion. May I let him out? The Eye of Myriad Laws spoke. Rest assured, I can make him vow never to participate in anything related to Zuowang's lineage in the future. Let him out. Great Saint Hunshao looked at the Eye of No Laws, speaking blandly, "Eye of Myriad Laws, you really want to meddle in everything. Other matters can be discussed, but not this one." Great Saint Jade Qilin directly said. Although Lin Yuan wasn't a peerless great saint, his strength was certainly at the pinnacle among chaos great saints. Letting Lin Yuan go? It would absolutely be an unignorable hazard. We will not only refrain from letting him go, but we will also hunt all of his true bodies and avatars, Great Saint Hunshao spoke. It was precisely because Xianhuang did not completely annihilate them that led to the insane revenge on Zuowang's lineage by the two peerless great saints later. Now, Great Saint Hunshao naturally wouldn't make the same mistake. Hunt all my true bodies and avatars? Lin Yuan's expression subtly changed. Originally, he intended to simply hand over his gains if there was truly no choice. After all, given Lin Yuan's growth speed, Great Saint Hunshao and Great Saint Jade Qilin would at most just be temporary custodians. Once Lin Yuan breakthroughs to the Chaos Realm and possesses strength akin to an invincible Great Saint, he could easily retrieve it. But to hunt down all his true bodies and avatars? Do you really have to take things this far? The Eye of Myriad Laws hadn't anticipated the two peerless great saints to be this ruthless. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1168, Crush It, Seeking Subscription. The Eye of Myriad Laws, your creator, is a great time being. The Jade Qilin Great Saint looked at the Eye of Myriad Laws. Precisely for this reason, you cannot intervene in the entanglements and causality within the chaos void, nor can you directly stop us. You can call in favors to have other Supreme Saints stop us, but for how long? The Jade Qilin Great Saint said with a smile. Throughout the long years, the 10,000 Paths Pavilion has helped many cultivators with great potential, a few of whom eventually became Supreme Saints. But to expect these Supreme Saints to oppose us because of past assistance? The Jade Qilin Great Saint didn't believe any Supreme Saint would do so. Moreover, the galaxy is now before us, and this physical body is doomed to annihilation. The Eye of Myriad Laws can at most prevent us from hunting down the true bodies of the galaxy. But only a Supreme Saint can stop me, and essentially, no Supreme Saint would do so. The Eye of Myriad Laws remained silent. Indeed it was so. It is a special existence related to the 13th stage, holding a transcendent position in the chaos void, with no Supreme Saint daring to provoke it willingly. Even the Xian Emperor and the Moyu Tower Master, such invincible great saints, would not dare to provoke it actively. But ultimately, it is not a true time being and cannot bring much intimidation to Supreme Saints. Supreme Saints hold it in respect at most, not in fear. Leave. The Great Saint Hunshao spoke, also having no intention of thoroughly offending the Eye of Myriad Laws, but Lin Yuan, this remnant of the profound Xianhuang, would certainly not be let go. With Lin Yuan's current strength, even if he cannot become a Supreme Saint in the future, he can easily pose a threat to their tribe when the two of them ascend to the 13th stage. The two Supreme Saints have lived through numerous cosmic eras, with relatives and friends mostly deceased, but their tribe remains. Jade Qilin, Hunshao, I will remember you. The Eye of Myriad Laws directly dissipated on the spot. At the same time, the star-tier fragment world. The Eye of Myriad Laws looked at Lin Yuan, Galaxy, helpless. The Eye of Myriad Laws sighed, although before coming forward, it had predicted there was a high possibility that the two Supreme Saints would not heed its words. But truly facing this scene, the Eye of Myriad Laws still felt somewhat helpless. However, with me here, those two can only erase your physical body in the Xianhuang universe. As for all your true bodies and avatars, that's impossible. The Eye of Myriad Laws said with a cold laugh. I know a few special mysterious places that can isolate causality and spacetime. Besides me, no other beings, even invincible great saints, can enter. The Eye of Myriad Laws said, now prepare to bring along your tribe and friends, and I will transport you there. While the Eye of Myriad Laws cannot directly intervene in the chaos and causality within the chaos void, it can indirectly influence it. Like now, as the two Supreme Saints want to hunt down all Lin Yuan's true bodies and avatars, the Eye of Myriad Laws simply sends Lin Yuan to a place the two Supreme Saints cannot enter, such that the two Supreme Saints are naturally helpless. "Thank you," Lin Yuan said with a slight tone of gratitude. In fact, even without the Eye of Myriad Laws, Lin Yuan had means to protect his primordial spirit avatars. The safest way is to place all the human civilization tribes into a micro-world and then descend into other dimensional worlds via the Door of Myriad Worlds. As long as the human civilization within the micro-world doesn't come out, they won't notice the world's changes. When Lin Yuan grows powerful enough to sweep through those two Supreme Saints, he can naturally bring the human civilization back. However, this method involves different dimensions and perhaps risks exposing the Door of Myriad Worlds. Unless absolutely necessary, Lin Yuan still prefers not to do so. So far, Lin Yuan has never let a second person contact the Door of Myriad Worlds. "No need to thank me. I'm also doing it for myself." The Door of Myriad Worlds said, "If you die at the hands of Jade Qilin and the others, wouldn't my previous efforts to spread the path of martial path evolution to you be in vain?" The Door of Myriad Worlds helped Lin Yuan with its own plans as well. One reason it held Lin Yuan in high regard, believing that as long as he continued growing smoothly, he would at least become an invincible great saint. The second is that the Door of Myriad Worlds had already made many investments in Lin Yuan, and naturally could not watch those two Supreme Saints make a move against him idly. Xianxia Universe. The Jade Qilin Great Saint and the Great Saint Hunxiao looked down at Lin Yuan. "I'm curious about what you've gained in this Xianxia Universe. Did the Xian Emperor leave anything concerning us?" the Jade Qilin Great Saint said. Now the entire Xianxia Universe is under the control of the two Supreme Saints, so there is no rush. "No," Lin Yuan observed the two Supreme Saints while speaking. Inside the Xianxia Mausoleum, there are many murals depicting the great events of the Xian Emperor from obscurity to overlooking the entire chaos void. But throughout, Lin Yuan never saw any record concerning the Jade Qilin Great Saint or the Great Saint Hunxiao. If it weren't for learning from the tomb spirit that the Xian Emperor wiped out 39 bodies of the two Supreme Saints before attempting to ascend to the 13th stage, Lin Yuan wouldn't even know the deeds of these two Supreme Saints. "No. The Xian Emperor didn't leave any information on us." The Jade Qilin Great Saint's face turned ugly, and so did the Great Saint Hunxiao beside him. The implication being that the Xian Emperor never regarded them highly. Upon realizing this, the aura of the two Supreme Saints began to ripple softly. "It's now." Lin Yuan stepped forward. The space-time around started to warp, specifically the profound Xuanwang's three great Tao-protecting secret skills, space-time 9 steps. Facing the two Supreme Saints, Lin Yuan had no intention of opposing them, but focused on escape instead. "Space-time 9 steps?" The Jade Qilin Great Saint shook his head slightly. "We've hunted enough of the disciples of the profound Xianxia tribe and long developed means to suppress such escape secret skills." Just as the words fell, Lin Yuan noticed the surrounding space-time beginning to change, and his grasp over time and space rapidly waned. Failed on the first step? Lin Yuan thought to himself, likewise looking up at the two Supreme Saints. If that's the case, then we'll fight to the death. Lin Yuan's eyes slightly burned with fighting spirit, and the universe around him began to whirl crazily. The Jade Qilin Great Saint showed a somewhat astonished expression. Though not a Supreme Saint, on account of the personal domain, he can compel the great Daoist rules to retreat. "Impressive. I increasingly want to kill you." The Great Saint Hunxiao's tone gradually turned icy. The more formidable Lin Yuan seemed, the stronger their desire to kill him grew. Rumbling sounds. In the next moment, the Great Saint Hunxiao decisively acted, slapping at the universe around Lin Yuan. Outside the Xianxia Universe, in the twisted space-time, the Eye of Myriad Laws and several other special existences still had not left. "Myriad Laws, what did you go in there for just now?" The broken long blade glanced at the Eye of Myriad Laws. The Eye of Myriad Laws had split a trace of power into the Xianhuang universe, and they naturally noticed it. Nothing in particular, just wanted to take someone away. The Eye of Myriad Laws said, "Take someone away?" The broken long blade said, "Rejected by Hunxiao and the others?" "Yes." The Eye of Myriad Laws nodded. "Humph. Ants doomed to be trapped in a time loop, they can only show off their might now." The broken long blade shook its head. As an existence similar to the Eye of Myriad Laws, it naturally stood in opposition to the invincible great saint. Ha! Just then, the nearby ancient altar spirit was slightly surprised. Is there a fight inside? At this moment, within the Xianhuang universe, vast space-time fluctuations faintly spread, like two prehistoric behemoths trembling in deep waters, causing the water surface to become unsteady. Deep within the Xianhuang universe. Xianxia the novel, the NT website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Lin Yuan exerted all his might to activate the cosmos outside his body, contending with great Saint Hunxiao. Combining the devouring of the fierce sun's origin, along with mastering the second level of infinite void, and the enhancement of refining the dark sky heart, Lin Yuan's internal cosmos was already stronger than that of a normal invincible great saint. But the means of an invincible great saint are by no means limited to the internal cosmos, let alone great Saint Hunxiao, who is not just any invincible great saint. Not a match. Lin Yuan's heart was heavy. Although at this moment he barely contended with great Saint Hunxiao, Lin Yuan knew it was only temporary. As time passed, he would inevitably be suppressed by this invincible great saint. Detonate the external cosmos? Lin Yuan thought of this method, simultaneously glancing at the other invincible great saint, Jade Qilin great saint. No great hope in his heart. With only great Saint Hunxiao here, suddenly detonating the external cosmos might indeed create a chance to escape. But beside great Saint Hunxiao, there was also Jade Qilin great saint. Under the pressure of two invincible great saints, even detonating the external cosmos would hardly offer a chance to escape. Even if I lose this body, it'll shatter all treasures and rare wonders in the end. Lin Yuan made up his mind he couldn't destroy great saint-level weapons temporarily, but treasures and rare wonders? Those he could annihilate. Suddenly, at that moment, Lin Yuan's expression slightly changed. Within his internal cosmos, the Xianhuang mausoleum was suspended, and the tomb spirit appeared. "Can you withstand Hunxiao and Jade Qilin?" the tomb spirit asked. "Probably not," Lin Yuan said truthfully. If not for great Saint Hunxiao being unwilling to pay any price during his suppression, he would probably already be at a disadvantage. Alas, the tomb spirit fell silent. Once Lin Yuan couldn't resist, everything in the Xianhuang universe would fall into the hands of Xuanwang's enemies. Especially the three personal weapons of His Majesty, and that one bead. That bead, you should crush it. The tomb spirit said bitterly, as if it had made a certain decision. Crush that bead. Lin Yuan furrowed his brow. Wouldn't that summon the treasure His Majesty obtained? Lin Yuan remembered the tomb spirit's words. Once that Xianhuang bead was crushed, the treasure obtained by His Majesty from the dimensional rift would be acquired. Even risking an early impact on the 13th stage to preserve that treasure. No matter, just crush it directly. After saying this, the tomb spirit vanished from its place. The outside world. Lin Yuan's expression was puzzled. But since the tomb spirit said so, he wouldn't hesitate and directly took out that Xianhuang bead. The bead was round, with a Xianhuang color inside, surrounded by a faint aura of time. Swish. The Xianhuang bead appeared in Lin Yuan's hand. What is that? Great Saint Hunxiao and Jade Qilin Great Saint also saw this scene, and upon seeing the Xianhuang bead, they vaguely sensed something. The next moment, Lin Yuan held the Xianhuang bead, applying gentle pressure. The bead was crushed with a crisp sound. Time seemed to come to a halt. The instant the Xianhuang bead was crushed, threads of the power of time began to gather. Space-time gradually manifested scene after scene, finally forming a loop, repeating endlessly like a cycle. In the scenes was an incomparably majestic heavenly court, with grand immortal palaces and lofty jade towers. In the highest divine hall, a man sat on the throne. The man rested his head on his right hand, appearing to be in slumber. But at the instant the Xianhuang bead was crushed, this man seemed to sense something, slowly opening his closed eyes. But the man vanished soundlessly from the throne. Xianhuang Universe. Beside Lin Yuan. At some unknown time, a robust and majestic man appeared. The man was enveloped in golden light, perhaps the most emperorial of all the mighty great saints who had arisen across countless cosmic eras and myriad cosmic eras in the chaos void. He stood quietly by Lin Yuan's side, hands held behind his back, without looking at Great Saint Hunxiao and Jade Qilin Great Saint, but instead cast a glance at Lin Yuan. You! Great Saint Hunxiao and Jade Qilin Great Saint trembled with terror, nearly turning to flee. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1169. Xianhuang, Seeking Subscription, Outside Xianhuang Universe. The minds of many Chaos Venerables were shaken, and it took them a while to regain their composure. Just now, did a Supreme Great Saint enter? A single thought forms the void, replacing the rules of the Chaos Void. It must be a Supreme Great Saint. Only a Supreme Great Saint can form a new void rule and path in an instant. Ah, a Supreme Great Saint, the Chaos Venerables quickly conversed and discussed. The Chaos Evolution Power Foundation of a Supreme Great Saint is hefty enough to bear numerous rules and paths of the Chaos Void, which makes forming new rules possible. Becoming a Supreme Great Saint, strength is secondary. It further signifies that the path one's taking is broad enough. Although there are myriad paths, all leading to the same destination, the paths have no differences in rank. But a muddy trail compared to a heavenly path. Even if both can reach the end, the processes are vastly different. Simply said, for a Chaos Great Saint to become a Supreme Great Saint, it is unrelated to talent and aptitude. It depends on whether the path of strength one walks is hefty and wide. Why did the Eye of Myriad Laws immediately perceive that Lin Yuan could become a Supreme Great Saint upon detecting the evolution path Lin Yuan let it spread, originating from the branch of his own evolution path? It's because the martial arts evolution road can branch out so many paths at the path-splitting realm stage, even reaching paths with potential at the chaos realm. One can imagine how broad and weighty the martial arts evolution road itself is. Such an evolution path, as long as it grows smoothly, becoming a Supreme Great Saint is inevitable. Were two Supreme Great Saints here just now? Two Supreme Great Saints? The Chaos Venerables quickly communicated. Some Venerable caught a fleeting glimpse of two vague figures arriving instantaneously from distant spacetime. Great Saint Hunxiao and Jade Qilin Great Saint never intended to enter the Xianhuang universe quietly. As Supreme Great Saints, they should roam freely in the Chaos Void. How could they sneak around? Therefore, they never concealed themselves, but even so, most Chaos Venerables couldn't even lift their heads under the pressure of Supreme Great Saints. Only a few saw their vague forms. Did both Supreme Great Saints enter this postnatal universe? It seems this postnatal universe truly has a significant background. Whether it has a significant background, I'm not concerned, as it has nothing to do with me. Indeed, just that Galaxy Saint is rather unfortunate. The Chaos Venerables suddenly thought of the situation within the Xianhuang universe. Since suppressing Black Light Great Saint, Wild Barbarian Great Saint, and the other 8 Chaos Great Saints, this postnatal universe was completely occupied by Galaxy Great Saint. With the combat power Galaxy Great Saint displayed, other Chaos Great Saints dared not enter. As for the Chaos Venerables originally inside, Galaxy Great Saint didn't expel them, but these Chaos Venerables knew their limits, only daring to wander around the outer regions of the Xianhuang universe. Simply put, this postnatal universe has already become Galaxy Great Saint's backyard. But now, the arrival of two Supreme Great Saints has completely disrupted this scenario. Galaxy Great Saint is strong. His domain world could make numerous rules and paths retreat, but after the decision of several Chaos Great Saints, Galaxy Great Saint ultimately did not reach the level of Supreme Great Saint. In this situation, with two Supreme Great Saints entering, the conclusion for Galaxy Great Saint within the universe is almost predictable. If lucky, and those two Supreme Great Saints are in a good mood, he might leave alive, but the gains from this trip within the universe would surely have to be surrendered. If unlucky, just like Galaxy Great Saint treated Black Light Great Saint, Wild Barbarian Great Saint, suppressed by two Supreme Great Saints, exchanging with ransom. If even unluckier, if detested by the two Supreme Great Saints, there's a chance of directly facing death. The stature of Supreme Great Saints is too high, they don't care much about ransom. Distant Void Domain. Wild Barbarian Great Saint saw many friends, none willing to step in to assist him in negotiating with Galaxy Great Saint. At that moment, Wild Barbarian Great Saint received news. Two Supreme Great Saints entered that postnatal universe too? Upon hearing this, Wild Barbarian Great Saint's expression was not of joy but fear. His main battle body was in the hands of Galaxy Great Saint in the Xianxia universe, so he was very concerned about information from that area, immediately being aware of the two Supreme Great Saints' arrival. Things have become complicated. Wild Barbarian Great Saint's brows knitted tightly. The exchange for his main battle body in the hands of Lin Yuan required a high price, but at least that price was determined. For instance, Wild Barbarian Great Saint only needed to gather 10 billion Chaos Stones to regain his main battle body. This is what Galaxy Great Saint agreed to. Search * the Novire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Such a mighty existence generally would not be untrustworthy. But now with two additional Supreme Great Saints? It's beyond Wild Barbarian Great Saint's control. With two Supreme Great Saints entering the postnatal universe, Galaxy Great Saint should be suppressed, meaning the main battle bodies of these Chaos Great Saints fall into the hands of the two Supreme Great Saints. Galaxy Great Saint was willing to exchange their main battle bodies for 10 billion Chaos Stones, doesn't mean the two Supreme Great Saints would do the same. Galaxy Great Saint, you must escape. Wild Barbarian Great Saint gazed towards the Xianxia universe, silently pondering. He inexplicably hoped that Galaxy Great Saint, who suppressed his main battle body, could escape from the hands of those two Supreme Great Saints. Not only Wild Barbarian Great Saint, but Black Light Great Saint, Tianlu Great Saint also felt uneasy. The entrance of Supreme Great Saints made the situation increasingly complex. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1170, Xianxia, Seeking Subscription, _2 Originally, one only needed to hand over the corresponding number of Chaos Stones to safely exchange back the main battle body. But now, who knows what further price needs to be paid? The two unparalleled Great Saints? The dual origin Great Saint, who had already reached another void domain, was slightly taken aback, then immediately felt a sense of relief. Galactic Great Saint, it seems I have to thank you. The dual origin Great Saint thought to himself. If it weren't for the Galactic Great Saint, he would still be exploring within the Xianxia universe at this moment. At this time, with the entry of the two unparalleled Great Saints, what could his dual origin outcome be? The dual origin Great Saint barely escaped from Lin Yuan's grasp after a desperate fight. But facing the unparalleled Great Saints? No matter how much he struggled for his life, he couldn't escape. By then, his fate would certainly be much worse than it is now. This Galactic Great Saint, to persist for so long in front of Hunshao? Remarkable. I reckon Hunshao was unwilling to pay the price and wanted to suppress the Galactic Great Saint without loss. Even so, it's very rare, as the Galactic Great Saint doesn't even possess the power of chaos evolution. The Broken Blade, the Ancient Altar Spirit, the Eye of Myriad Laws, and several other special beings were observing the situation within the Xianxia universe. At the level of an unparalleled Great Saint, The formation of an independent void world makes it impossible for these special beings to forcibly penetrate for observation. But based on the faint time-space fluctuations transmitted, many things could be inferred. These special beings have experienced one cosmic era after another, possessing keen vision and can deduce many conclusions from subtle hints. At this moment, the entire Xianhuang universe froze completely. This freezing involved not only space but also time. If the previous Xianhuang universe was a stream of flowing water, then at this moment, the Xianhuang universe had solidified from flowing water to a solid. All power fluctuations and aura rules were completely silenced, unable to be transmitted in the slightest. What is this? The special beings like the Broken Blade and the ancient altar spirits suddenly had a change in expression, and a common thought surged in their hearts. Xianhuang, a majestic and towering man, stood in mid-air, without emitting any aura. But since his appearance, inexplicable changes began in the Xianhuang universe. The Grand Road rules started boiling, and the rules initially oppressed by the Great Saint Hunshao and Jade Qilin Great Saint rapidly counterpressed. Compared to the changes in the Xianhuang universe, Great Saint Hunshao and Jade Qilin Great Saint paid no attention. The gazes of the two unparalleled great saints were fixed on the majestic and towering man, as if witnessing an unbelievable scene, like the sudden appearance of someone who absolutely should not have appeared. Xianhuang, weren't you advancing to the 13th stage? Great Saint Hunshao was on high alert, his voice trembling. He was certain that the majestic and towering man before him was not some kind of imprint consciousness but Xianhuang himself, the invincible great saint who, over 30 million cosmic eras ago, had the power to sweep away other unparalleled great saints. Back when Xianhuang was advancing towards the 13th stage, to eliminate potential threats, he specifically hunted down a batch of unparalleled great saints, among whom were Hunshao and Jade Qilin. In the end, Hunshao and Jade Qilin, being left with no choice, opted for reincarnation to escape Xuanwang's hunt. The Chaos Realm allows for reincarnation, and a great saint who achieves perfection in the Chaos Realm can retain some memories post-reincarnation, with an unparalleled great saint retaining even more. Sar the Ovalfire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. However, even if all memories are retained, what of it? After reincarnation, it is the weakest period for any great saint. If reincarnated into a strong species, it's still manageable, but if reincarnated into a fragile species, it becomes perilous. Reincarnation in the Chaos Realm, whether for ordinary beings or unparalleled great saints, is random, leaving no choice in the reincarnation target. In the boundless chaos void, primordial universes, secret realms, and the weak, fragile species make up 99%, with the strong species being few. This means that unless unbelievably lucky, even an unparalleled great saint is likely to reincarnate into a low starting point. With such a low start, even possessing partial memory, survival is still difficult if trapped in a desperate and perilous situation. Once the reincarnated body dies, a second reincarnation will occur, and the memories retained during the second reincarnation will become negligible, making the hope of returning as a great saint even more remote. At the Chaos Great Saint level, especially the Absolute Great Saints, their paths are vast and profound, holding hope of becoming a time life. If not absolutely necessary, they would never choose reincarnation. Have you crossed into the 13th layer? Beside him, Jade Qilin Great Saint was shaken. The first thought in his mind when he heard Xianhuang slipped out of the time loop was that he had crossed into the 13th layer. No, you have not crossed into the 13th layer. The birth of every time life causes a vibration in the space-time layer of the chaos void, and we will certainly become aware of it. Jade Qilin Great Saint felt an immense terror in his heart, but still managed to maintain basic rationality. For life in the chaos void, when crossing from the 11th to the 12th layer, they will endure the infusion of the chaos void origin. And when crossing from the 12th to the 13th layer, it is the same, but the shock caused far exceeds the former. Right? You have not crossed into the 13th layer. Great Saint Hunshao also realized, and they looked at the majestic and formidable man not far away. For over 30 million cosmic eras, this man has become their heart demon. The two absolute great saints dared not challenge the 13th layer, and they sought to erase the traces of the profound Xianhuang lineage to minimize the heart demon's influence on them. So many cosmic eras have passed, and you two wastes have still not changed. The majestic and great man smiled and muttered to himself. Xianhuang. Lin Yuan also looked at the majestic and great man beside him, his heart rippling. Xianhuang? Is that Xianhuang? The founder of the profound Xianhuang lineage? Even though not an invincible great saint, yet not the slightest bit weaker than an invincible great saint's absolute great saint? Lin Yuan was filled with countless thoughts. Since stepping into the 9th layer and entering the Xianhuang secret realm, he had heard of this sovereign Xianhuang, and in the universe of his homeland, the legacy of the profound Xianhuang line had played a significant role for him. And now, has he actually met the true sovereign Xianhuang? Crushing that bead will summon sovereign Xianhuang? Lin Yuan's thoughts surged, but a greater doubt arose in his heart. If so, why did the tomb spirit advise him as much as possible not to crush it? Great Saint Hunshao and Jade Qilin Great Saint's expressions were gloomy. Though still terrified, when they heard Xianhuang refer to them as waste, their eyes clouded as if they returned to over 30 million cosmic eras ago. At that time, they were also absolute great saints, supposedly dominating the chaos void, ultimately consolidating everything to impact the 13th layer. But in that era, Xianhuang, this monster, was born, who was born nothing more than an ant-like life nurtured by the natural universe. In terms of inheritance, Xianhuang had no elders to rely on. Yet this ant quickly grew to the chaos realm perfection, absolute great saint. Great Saint Hunshao, Jade Qilin Great Saint, and many other absolute great saints of that era basically lived under Xuanwang's shadow. Xianhuang, over 30 million cosmic eras have passed. Jade Qilin and I underwent one reincarnation, returning to the peak, much stronger than before. Great Saint Hunxiao's voice grew louder, resonating across spacetime. Jade Qilin Great Saint was the same, his eyes quickly calmed down. Is that so? The majestic great man smiled slightly, then lifted his right hand behind him. Escape! Great Saint Hunshao and Jade Qilin Great Saint, like startled birds, fled towards the entrance without hesitation. At this moment, Xianhuang universe integrated into one, they could not tear the surrounding space-time, and only hope of escape lay at the entrance. Inner universe. Inside the tomb spirit sat there, looking downcast, softly whispering, "Your Majesty." Even though 30 million cosmic eras can't break through the time cycle, the hope of stepping into the 13th layer will be very slim, but however slim, it is still hope, and in the distant future, there might be changes. Even without changes but falling into the time cycle, you are still alive. As long as you are alive, there is hope, there is hope. The eyes of the tomb spirit lowered, faint crystal tears rolled down. But why give up this hope? Why give up? The tomb spirit's body trembled violently. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1171. Before I perish, please subscribe. Escape! 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 Great Saint Hunshao and Jade Qilin Great Saint burned their physical and soul origins, hoping to distance themselves from that towering and powerful man. Swoosh! Time and space turned into a prison, Xianhuang Qi suffused, trapping the two supreme great saints within. Xianhuang! Great Saint Hunshao roared, the time and space around him exploded in surges, trying to disperse the Xianhuang prison, but unable to shake it even slightly. Jade Qilin Great Saint looked grave. He glanced not far away. Now they had returned to their original place. Xianhuang stood there quietly, gazing at them indifferently, as if overlooking them from above. Xianhuang, you haven't stepped into the 13th layer yet. Forcibly break out of the time loop, you're courting death. Jade Qilin Great Saint said solemnly, staring fixedly at the towering, powerful man. The towering, powerful man said nothing, his expression calm, flipping his raised right hand. Immediately, the Xianhuang cage trapping the two supreme great saints began to collapse, and within it, Great Saint Hunxiao and Jade Qilin Great Saint also started to collapse. Last time you survived, this time you want. The towering, powerful man's gaze fixed, Great Saint Hunxiao and Jade Qilin Great Saint struggled desperately but still turned to dust within 2 or 3 breaths, their bodies and soul bodies within their universes all disintegrated to dust. Dead. Not far away, Lin Yuan took a deep breath. 2 supreme great saints, just like that, dead? Lin Yuan had fought against Great Saint Hunxiao, knowing well the strength of this supreme great saint, far surpassing his own, willing to pay the price, he could completely suppress him in a short time. But this supreme great saint could not last 2 or 3 breaths against Xuanwang's hand. Nor could Jade Qilin Great Saint, who was no weaker than Great Saint Hunxiao. 2 supreme great saints, in Lin Yuan's hands, seemed like those chaos venerables in front of him, without any ability to resist. The strength of an invincible great saint, is it so much stronger than a supreme great saint? Sir the Nellfire. NT website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Lin Yuan found it hard to believe. He also concluded Xianhuang hadn't stepped into the 13th layer, still at the 12th, but this strength was too strong. Supreme great saints of the same level were like ants. No. An invincible great saint shouldn't be this strong. Lin Yuan was certain in his heart, invincible great saints were indeed stronger than supreme great saints, able to sweep the ladder, but the difference in strength couldn't be this vast. Is it because of the time loop? Lin Yuan looked at the towering, powerful man. At this moment Xuanwang's state was very strange, between the 12th and 13th layer. Neither having stepped into the 13th layer nor surpassed the 12-layer category. After Great Saint Hunxiao and Jade Qilin Great Saint were completely annihilated, the towering, powerful man retracted his right hand, glanced at Lin Yuan, and said with a smile, "I'll go deal with some hidden dangers, I'll be back soon." "All right." Lin Yuan nodded, looking at the towering, powerful man disappearing from the original place. Outside the Xianhuang universe, the Chaos Venerables didn't know what had happened within the universe, still discussing the scene of Great Saint Hunxiao and Jade Qilin Great Saint entering. In the distance, several special existences like the Eye of Myriad Laws had a solemn expression. At this moment, the towering, powerful man appeared at the entrance of the universe. In a daze, the Xianhuang universe behind him started to spread infinitely, encompassing the 4 directions of time-space, chaos void. Who is that? Why did he come out? Where are the 2 supreme great saints? Many chaos venerables were still confused, not reacting. Indeed, it is Xianhuang. The long knife broken in 2 said in a low voice, even though it was already certain, 3 million cosmic eras ago, the Xianhuang who attempted the 13th layer reappeared. Seeing it in person now still made its heart a bit unsettled. As a special existence, they had witnessed too much, even personally experienced the birth of 13th layer time life. But to forcibly break out of the time loop? It was very rare. 1, it was extremely difficult, and 2, the cost was too high. The forcible breakout here was not a normal breakthrough of the time loop constraint, but to break out in another way. Xianhuang, I didn't expect the heart demon effect was so great. The Eye of Myriad Laws side, he had told Lin Yuan before that Xuanwang's chance to break the time loop was very low because this supreme great saint's heart demon was just too heavy. Now it seems indeed so. Chaos void. The towering, powerful man appeared outside the Xianhuang universe, took a deep breath. In an instant, the chaos chi of several void domains around him, along with the thin chaos chi of the desolate void, was completely swallowed into his mouth. The towering, powerful man glanced at the positions of several special existences like the Eye of Myriad Laws, did not pay much attention, but extended his right hand. "Sword, come to me." Xianhuang chi gathered, forming the shadow of a long sword. The long sword was similar to the sword of the Xianhuang that Lin Yuan obtained, but in a phantom state. Even so, an unprecedented sharpness condensed within the phantom long sword. Slash. The towering, powerful man slashed 2 swords deep into the chaos void. A highly secretive void secret realm. Great Saint Hunxiao looked solemn, gazing distantly in a certain direction, and murmured, Xianhuang? As a peerless great saint who had lived through tens of millions of cosmic eras, Great Saint Hunxiao naturally had many means of self-preservation, having 4 true bodies and as many as 58 avatars. 4 true bodies and 58 avatars. As long as one was alive, Great Saint Hunxiao could quickly recover. As for the means of self-preservation, in the boundless chaos void, Great Saint Hunxiao had left countless means for survival. Should all true bodies and avatars perish, the self-preservation means would be triggered, allowing for a resurrection. 30 million cosmic eras ago, you killed all my true bodies and broke my many survival methods, and I had no choice but to reincarnate. But now, can you still force me into reincarnation? Great Saint Hunxiao sat there quietly. At this moment, a sword light came slashing towards Great Saint Hunxiao through the causal time-space. What? Before Great Saint Hunxiao could react, his flesh and soul were quickly annihilated under the sword light. At the same time, the third true body of Great Saint Hunxiao, located deep in a spatial temporal maze, was likewise obliterated by a sword light. The fourth true body was slashed. The first avatar hidden deep within the Taiyuan ruins was slashed. The second avatar hiding in a special place was slashed. The third avatar within a mysterious space was slashed. At the same instant, all 3 of Great Saint Hunxiao's true bodies and 58 avatars were completely slashed. In the boundless chaos void, the many survival means left behind by Great Saint Hunxiao were similarly met with sword light and annihilated. As Great Saint Hunxiao's true bodies, avatars, and survival methods were extinguished, the same fate befell Jade Qilin Great Saint, whose many true bodies and survival methods were equally slashed and annihilated under the causal time-space sword lights with no resistance. What happened? This type of causal time-space fluctuation? Who is it? Xianhuang? The disappearance of the 2 peerless great saints from causality and their complete fall immediately alarmed the ancient great saints within the chaos void. Many peerless great saints, who were in seclusion, preparing for the final breakthrough to the 13th level, were stirred. That aura, is it Xianhuang? His Excellency Xianhuang? The peerless great saint ruling over tens of thousands of void domains? Wasn't it said he was breaking through to the 13th level? Some ancient peerless great saints, even if they were not from the same era as His Excellency Xianhuang, had heard of this peerless great saint and now were extremely shocked. In the long history of the chaos void, there indeed had been instances where peerless great saints fell, but those were during highly unusual times, and the fallen great saints only perished after numerous fierce battles. And whether they truly fell, no one knew because, at the last moment, a peerless great saint could still reincarnate. Once reincarnated, a peerless great saint would lose all, including their flesh and soul, but would also completely sever their own causality. Great Saint Hunxiao and Jade Qilin Great Saint had used this method to escape Xuanwang's pursuit. But now, their causal ties disappeared far too quickly. Xianhuang is clearing the accounts, clearing out all the great saints opposing the profound Xianhuang lineage. Numerous peerless great saints were tremendously shocked but didn't dare to step forward. Even 30 million cosmic eras ago, Xianhuang had the strength of an invincible great saint, and with enough time, would gain the recognition of all peerless great saints. The strength shown now far exceeded the scope of a normal peerless great saint. At this moment, no peerless great saint dared to stand out. Outside the Xianhuang universe, a tall and mighty man sensed carefully and slashed out another 3 swords. After 3 swords, the causal ties of 3 more ancient peerless great saints vanished completely, unable even to reincarnate. In fact, even over 30 million cosmic eras ago, the reincarnation of Great Saint Hunxiao and Jade Qilin Great Saint had been Xuanwang's doing, leaving them no retreat, with all true bodies and avatars annihilated, forcing them to reincarnate. With merely 1 true body slashed, Great Saint Hunxiao and Jade Qilin Great Saint weren't yet at the end of their roads and naturally didn't reincarnate immediately. Who could have thought that the sword from the tall and mighty man would wield such terrifying power, instantly annihilating all true bodies, avatars, and survival methods? After 5 sword strikes, the long sword in the hands of the tall and mighty man dissipated, and he immediately turned and stepped into the Xianhuang universe. Deep within the Xianhuang universe, Lin Yuan looked grave. The causal ties of Great Saint Hunxiao and Jade Qilin Great Saint have completely vanished? Lin Yuan thought to himself. Having battled these 2 great saints, causality naturally arose, allowing Lin Yuan to determine whether they still existed through the causal ties. Of course, it was only possible to determine their existence. With Lin Yuan's current mastery of causality, he couldn't yet lock onto the location coordinates of the 2 peerless great saints. After all, the 2 peerless great saints would intentionally obscure their own causality. Failing to lock onto their locations through causality, however, still allowed him to determine whether they were alive by the existence of causality. Now the causal ties of Great Saint Hunxiao and Jade Qilin Great Saint had vanished utterly, as if wiped from existence. As Lin Yuan's thoughts spread out, the tall and mighty man appeared not far away, stepping astride to stand before Lin Yuan. "I know you have many questions." The tall and mighty man looked at Lin Yuan with a smile. "Don't worry, I'll explain everything to you." After speaking, the tall and mighty man paused for a moment, then added, "Before I vanish, if you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible." Chapter 1172, Supreme Treasure, Subscribe. The towering and mighty man's tone was calm. No intimidating aura emanated. If Lin Yuan hadn't clearly sensed the complete disappearance of the causal traces of Great Saints Hunxiao and Jade Qilin, he might have thought this was just an ordinary life form. Annihilation. Lin Yuan thought about the last words of the Xianhuang. "Before I vanish? Let's discuss this last." The towering and mighty man waved his hand, and the time and space around them shifted, bringing them to a palace. Sir the Ovalfire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Lin Yuan glanced around and immediately noticed the 2 ancient symbols at the top of the palace. Xianhuang. Although he didn't know what the symbols meant, he understood them the moment he saw them. Xianhuang Hall? Is this the Xianhuang Hall? Lin Yuan pondered. Among the many areas on the animal hide map, the Xianhuang Hall ranked just below the tomb. However, the animal hide map described the Xianhuang Hall as existing deep in time and space, making it very hard to find. Following the towering and mighty man into the Xianhuang Hall, Lin Yuan paused in front of a jade table. The towering and mighty man sat down to the side, smiling at Lin Yuan. "Please sit." "Yes." Lin Yuan obediently complied. Without a doubt, the towering and mighty man before him was the strongest life form Lin Yuan had ever seen. Whether in the chaos void or in the source world of the fierce sun ancient country, he was the strongest life form beneath the 13th step. Even a great saint couldn't resist being instantly slain, their life-saving means utterly cut off. Lin Yuan had a feeling that if the towering and mighty man harbored any murderous intent towards him, all traces he left in this chaos void would likely be forcibly erased. "I suppose you already know who I am," the towering and mighty man said with a smile. "Your Majesty," Lin Yuan nodded. The moment the towering and mighty man appeared, the origin source of the Xianhuang universe condensed into one. Aside from the Xianhuang, who personally created this postnatal universe, no one else could achieve this. Moreover, Great Saints Hunxiao and Jade Qilin also recognized the identity of the towering and mighty man, fleeing without daring to resist, yet ultimately failing to escape. "Haha." The towering and mighty man laughed. "In the era I belong to, in terms of innate talent and growth speed, even the marvelous life forms birthed by the chaos void were far inferior to me." Saying this, he glanced at Lin Yuan and sighed slightly. "But compared to you, I was quite ordinary." The moment of re-entering the Xianhuang universe, all the events that occurred over more than 3 million cosmic eras in this postnatal universe flooded into the towering and mighty man's mind. Coupled with his current state, he could see many secrets on Lin Yuan's body, such as his life level still being in the Master Realm and his unparalleled cosmic foundation. "Your Majesty is anything but ordinary," Lin Yuan said immediately. To eliminate 2 great saints with just a lift of a hand, even Lin Yuan wouldn't dare claim he could do the same after entering the Chaos Realm. So far, Lin Yuan's Chaos Yin-Yang Taiji had yet to take form, its potency unknown, leaving him uncertain. "My current state is special, hence the ability to thoroughly slay great saints. Normally, it wouldn't be possible," the towering and mighty man laughed. "When I was in the Master Realm, forget contending with great saints. Even facing ordinary sovereigns, I could only flee in panic." Lin Yuan listened obediently. In truth, the towering and mighty man's implication was that he could preserve his life in the presence of sovereigns while in the Master Realm. This was already rare, given that Lin Yuan's extraordinary comprehension, descending upon numerous dimensional worlds, and mastering a 13th step inheritance had only barely achieved so much. For other life forms, such an achievement was almost impossible to replicate. Special state. Lin Yuan looked at the towering and mighty man. "Yes. You should also be aware that I have long attempted to reach the 13th step, becoming trapped in a time loop," the towering and mighty man said, "but now, I have broken free from the temporal loop's restraints. This escape wasn't a normal breakthrough but a forcible disengagement, hence it won't last, and I will soon vanish." Lin Yuan listened. He recalled how the Eye of Myriad Laws once told him that those stuck in the time loops at 12th step perfection could indeed force their way out, as long as an anchor point was left in the outside world to be activated at a certain time. The 12th step perfectionists trapped in time loops could then lock onto the anchor point and forcibly break free from the time loop. Yet, such actions were something hardly any 12th step perfectionists would choose to do. Firstly, the difficulty was too high. Time loops were isolated from the chaos void, and possessing an external anchor didn't guarantee escape. One required the power to shake the world of the time loop. Generally, those 12th step perfectionists possessed such power to hope for breaking through the time loop, negating the need for forcible escape. Secondly, forcibly breaking out of the time loop defies the supreme laws of the chaos void's operation. Even upon returning to the chaos void, one would perpetually suffer backlash from the entire chaos void. Life forms below the 13th step can hardly withstand it for long and will eventually vanish entirely. "Why did Your Majesty choose to escape the time loop?" Lin Yuan couldn't help but ask. Clearly, the Xianhuang bead left to him by the tomb spirit was the anchor point the towering and mighty man placed outside. Just crushing it allowed the towering and mighty man within the time loop world to lock onto it, thereby escaping. Yet Lin Yuan couldn't understand why the towering and mighty man would do such a thing. The tomb spirit mentioned that after acquiring the Xianhuang bead, Lin Yuan could immediately crush it. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1173, Supreme Treasure, Request Subscription, _2. However, the tomb spirit did not wish for Lin Yuan to crush it himself. The former was clearly the Xian Emperor's intention, while the latter was the tomb spirit's own thought. The tomb spirit also understood what crushing the Xianhuang bead meant. But why did the Xian Emperor leave this command? Is it because he knew of the threat Lin Yuan faced from 2 unparalleled great saints? Not to mention how the Xian Emperor knew about events taking place over 30 million cosmic eras later. Even if he did know, there was no need to act this way. For a successor from who knows how many generations later, to completely give up his hope of breaking into the 13th layer, and have all traces of his existence erased? It makes no sense at all. Back when the profound Xianhuang line was destroyed, countless members and disciples of the profound Xianhuang line were hunted down, yet there was no sign of Xianhuang breaking the time loop, so why do it 30 million cosmic eras later? Don't overthink it, I chose to forcibly break the time loop, not for you, but for... The towering and mighty man's gaze drifted as if reminded of something. I don't want to break the time loop. Don't want to break the time loop? Lin Yuan was stunned. Could that really be the reason? Actually, the time loop that traps me isn't hard to break. All I need to do is forget my sister disciple. The towering and mighty man spoke with a distant look. It's just that, forget my sister disciple? I don't wish to. Over 30 million cosmic eras, I've had my memories erased over and over within the time loop, yet I still don't wish to. Lin Yuan listened but didn't ask who the sister disciple was. I forgot to introduce my sister disciple to you. The towering and mighty man said, I was born in a tribe, lost my parents at an early age, suffered greatly, almost starved to death many times. Actually, starving to death wasn't the scariest part, but being eaten as food. Later, I left the tribe, wanting to find a way to survive in the outside world, but not only did I not find anything, I was captured by some evil cultivator who intended to use my essence and soul to refine a cultivation method. Lin Yuan looked at the towering and mighty man. Following the murals on the tomb walls, the Xian emperor should have originated from some innate universe, born in low status, with harsh surroundings. Later, I met my sister disciple, who was a disciple of the Qingxian sect. Hearing of this evil cultivator's actions, she planned to exterminate the demonic path and killed that evil cultivator, saving me. The towering and mighty man recalled, I still remember the first words my sister disciple said to me, little beggar, don't be afraid, that big demon is already dead, you're alive now. I imagined if my sister disciple had come a little later, I might have died. The towering and mighty man continued, later, she took me back to the Qingxian sect, and after testing, found my aptitude to be quite good, so I entered, becoming her junior brother. My sister disciple was truly kind. She didn't mind my filth or smell, actively performed marrow cleansing on me, helped me transform, and taught me many things about cultivation. Lin Yuan listened. From then on, I vowed to repay my sister disciple well, to prevent anyone from bullying her. As I continued to cultivate, my aptitude and talent grew stronger, quickly becoming the strongest in the Qingxian sect, leading it to become the most powerful force in that universe. SAR the Oval Fire. At website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Later, I also became Dao companions with my sister disciple. That day was the happiest of my life. Finally, I broke through the 12 tiers, and with my help, my sister disciple also ascended to the 12 tiers. We endured the cosmic cataclysm together and entered the chaos void. As the towering and mighty man spoke, his tone turned cold. Upon entering the chaos void, we encountered a dominator-class plunderer. I wasn't a match for them, and my sister disciple, to ensure my survival, didn't hesitate to burn her soul, essence, blood, and spirit, resulting in both her true form and avatars igniting, barely managing to hold off that plunderer. The towering and mighty man's expression was one of forlorn loss. Though I survived, my sister disciple did not. I inquired everywhere, discovering that 12-tier beings were free from the shackles of the river of time and could only be resurrected by becoming a 13th layer time being. So I began pursuing becoming a time being. It's laughable to say, at the time I was just at the peak of the path-splitting realm, not even at the chaos realm, yet I fancied myself capable of becoming a time being? The towering and mighty man suddenly laughed. However, after entering the chaos void, I found my physique and bloodline to be very unique. Under the nurturing environment of the chaos void, they completely revealed their true potential, making me stronger and stronger, easily becoming a domination sovereign, great saint. At the perfection of the chaos realm, I established the profound Xianhuang lineage and founded the Xianhuang kingdom, ruling over the territory, slaughtering all plunderers, partly to avenge my sister disciple, but unfortunately, the plunderer we encountered back then was long dead. The towering and mighty man smiled softly. Upon becoming an unparalleled great saint, I considered how to advance to the 13th layer, visiting many special beings of the chaos void at that time. Those special beings said my heart demon was too heavy, that my sister disciple influenced me too much, and that under such circumstances, the time loop I was trapped in would be extremely difficult to traverse. The towering and mighty man sneered, but those special beings were born strong, standing loftily above, knowing nothing of my experiences. Without my sister disciple, I'd have died long ago. My sister disciple was never my heart demon, but my sole reason to grow stronger. Lin Yuan nodded. Many of the lofty spectacle beings had shallow emotions, utterly self-serving. Though I don't consider my sister disciple to be my heart demon, I understand her position in my heart. The time loop I may face in the attempt to break into the 13th layer will likely involve her. Later, I accidentally entered an interdimensional gap and there obtained a supreme treasure. This treasure was difficult to suppress with my power alone, and could only be veiled using the power of the time loop. At that time, my realm's strength had already reached its peak, already having the invincible strength of a great saint. Despite not being recognized by other unparalleled great saints, I didn't want to wait any longer. With the help of that treasure, my chances of breaking the time loop were somewhat higher. The longer the delay, should the matter of this treasure leak, other unparalleled great saints would undoubtedly seize it at any cost, and it might even attract the attention of genuine time beings. The towering and mighty man looked at Lin Yuan. Before striking for the 13th layer, I left many arrangements, one of which was that Xianhuang pearl, containing a trace of the treasure's aura, and should it be crushed, the leakage of the aura would resonate with the treasure's body, and that treasure had been taken by me into the time loop world, any disturbance informed to me, serving as an anchor point to forcibly break the time loop. At the time, I thought that if 30 million cosmic eras passed and I had not broken the time loop, there might be no possibility of advancing to the 13th layer, hence leaving the command for the Xianhuang pearl to be crushed after 30 million cosmic eras. Moreover, crushing the Xianhuang pearl would only remind me. Whether or not to forcibly break the time loop would still depend on me. I see. Lin Yuan realized, looking pensive. As for the time loop I experienced, to genuinely break through, one must completely forget the sister disciple. Isn't it ironic that my stepping into the 13th layer is to resurrect my sister disciple, but now the precondition for stepping into the 13th layer is to forget her? If I forget her, what is the point of my stepping into the 13th layer? If I truly forget her, would I still be me? The towering and mighty man smirked. In the time loop, countless times I had my memories erased and started again, but never chose to forget her. Not until you crushed the Xianhuang pearl did I forcibly break free. Lin Yuan looked at the towering and mighty man, thoughts surging. The information the Moyu Tower Master had provided him about the time loop stated that any who reached perfection at the 12th layer experienced a time loop, was an unprecedented trial. Yet the time loop experienced by Xianhuang required him to forget his sister disciple? In that time loop, without my sister disciple, there really was no hope of breaking through. It was rather dull there, but now that I'm out, it's much better. The towering and mighty man looked at Lin Yuan. Raising his right hand, a misty glow emerged. Before my demise, this supreme treasure I obtained from the interdimensional gap, I gift it to you. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1174 Eternal Sleep. End of this volume. Please subscribe. Is this the treasure? Lin Yuan observed carefully. Within the dim glow, a palm-sized cauldron could be vaguely seen. He learned from the tomb spirit that Xianhuang had lastly obtained a treasure from the dimensional gap, which led to the decision to advance to the 13th tier early. At that time, Lin Yuan thought this treasure might have a value close to the 13th tier. But just now, Xianhuang implied that he was worried about delaying too long, fearing the treasure's information might leak, attracting the attention of 13th tier temporal beings. A treasure merely close to the 13th tier level wouldn't attract the attention of temporal beings. To attract the attention of temporal beings only, that's right, this treasure is a 13th tier weapon, said the majestic and tall man. A 13th tier weapon? Lin Yuan took a deep breath. the small cauldron in Xuanwang's hands, within the dim light, immediately seemed unfathomable. That dimensional gap should be the battlefield of two 13-tier combatants, and this treasure is likely the remnant of one of them. I can sense the owner of the treasure is still alive. It's just that he forgot to retrieve it, Xianhuang said in a deep voice. It's like when Xianhuang fights with a strong being of the same level, leaving behind an ordinary great saint-level treasure and not retrieving it simply because it didn't come to mind. 13-tier beings are also known as temporal beings, and their concept of time is different from that of the 12th tier. For example, for the 12th tier, billions of cosmic eras might pass, but for 13-tier temporal beings, it might only equate to a few breaths. Of course, the 13-tier being might have forgotten about this weapon, but if this weapon actively calls the 13-tier being, reminding them, it is very likely they would come to reclaim it. This is also the reason Xianhuang immediately advanced to the 13th tier, using the power of time loops to suppress this treasure. Only in this way can the treasure be prevented from calling its master. As for what happens when the weapon's owner finds out afterward, if Xianhuang transcends to the 13th tier, it naturally wouldn't be a big deal. If he doesn't, this treasure, deeply nestled in time loops, would require the 13-tier temporal life to break the time loop to retrieve it, helping Xianhuang to break free. Even for a 13-tier temporal life, breaking a time loop comes at a significant cost. Thus, Xuanwang's act of suppressing this 13-tier weapon is basically without any hidden dangers. Bringing this treasure into the time loop can slightly break the constraints within, raising your starting point a little, Xianhuang said. Slightly break the constraints within the time loop? Lin Yuan's eyes widened in amazement. No wonder Xianhuang was determined to advance to the 13th tier early. Besides, Xianhuang could easily break free from the time loop, likely also using the power of this treasure. For you, Xianhuang looked at Lin Yuan and gently tossed the dimly glowing object in his hand. Lin Yuan instinctively reached out, and the small cauldron covered in dim light fell into his hands. Very light. Lin Yuan felt as if it had no weight, as if he was holding a ball of air. Now, this treasure has been reinforced and sealed by me with the power of time loops for over 30 million cosmic eras. Even if it leaves the time loop world, the time power of the external seal can last for 100 cosmic eras. Xianhuang looked at Lin Yuan. In other words, within 100 cosmic eras, this treasure won't actively call its master. Once 100 cosmic eras pass, there will be no guarantee any longer. At that time, if you have reached the peak of the Chaos Realm, try your best to advance to the 13th tier. If you haven't reached the peak of the Chaos Realm yet, Xianhuang thought for a moment, but with your talent and potential, reaching the peak of the Chaos Realm within 100 cosmic eras should be hopeful. I will try my best. Lin Yuan nodded solemnly. Also, if you encounter danger in the future and are about to completely perish, or if this treasure is about to be taken, you may choose to directly activate this treasure, Xianhuang said. This treasure is a 13-tier weapon. With your power, even if you give it your all, you won't unleash much of its might. But even a sliver of its power is enough to easily obliterate any consummate chaos realm. Xianhuang said, but this will undoubtedly attract the attention of the treasure's owner, and in the end, the treasure will most likely be reclaimed. I understand. Lin Yuan nodded. So, unless absolutely necessary, Xianhuang doesn't recommend Lin Yuan do this. Of course, if it truly comes to a life-or-death situation, where not activating the treasure would also result in it being taken by other powerful beings, Lin Yuan would naturally choose to activate it without hesitation. Moreover, you can comprehend this treasure as well. It is far more useful than comprehending the time bloodline of those half-baked wonder lives. Xianhuang smiled slightly. Lin Yuan nodded. A 13-tier weapon, crafted personally by a 13-tier being, contains profound temporal mysteries that far surpass the bloodlines of those half-baked wonder lives. All right. Do you have any other questions now? Xianhuang looked at Lin Yuan and smiled. No more. Lin Yuan shook his head. Xianhuang had explained everything clearly enough. Through this invincible great saint's experiences, Lin Yuan gained a deeper understanding of time loops. The so-called time loop not only presents challenges never encountered before, but also confronts one's deepest weaknesses and obsessions. This Xianhuang universe was created by me. If I were to completely perish, it would perish with me, unable to be left for you. Xianhuang made a gesture with his right hand, and numerous beams of light flashed within the universe as various precious treasures gathered into Zhuang's hand. But these wonders and treasures I've gathered for you. Thank you, Your Majesty, Lin Yuan said earnestly. Due to the sudden arrival of Great Saint Hunshao and Jade Qilin Great Saint, the numerous avatars Lin Yuan sent out hadn't yet scavenged the universe clean before being forced to stop and return. Now, with Xianhuang taking action, Lin Yuan was spared a lot of time. No need to thank me. After all, you are my heir. It's better than leaving them to outsiders. Xianhuang smiled slightly, then stood up. Since you have no more questions, I should go out and take a look. Go out and take a look? Lin Yuan was slightly surprised. Let's visit an old friend and prepare something more for you in the process. The Xianhuang took a step forward and vanished in front of Lin Yuan. Old friend? Lin Yuan's expression was serious. Anyone whom the Xianhuang addressed as an old friend must be an ancient great saint, having lived through at least 30 million cosmic eras. Sia the Novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Outside the Xianhuang universe, a towering and majestic man reappeared. Rumbling. The entire chaos void suddenly roared, the rules of the great Tao retreated, and time and space began to roll back. The towering and majestic man took another step and disappeared once more. Sea of Life. This place is a mysterious location within the chaos void, and even an unmatched great saint would find it difficult to enter forcibly, on par with places like the Nine Heavens Thunder Pond and the 10,000 Tribulations Origin Mountain. Splash. The Sea of Life churned with waves, and an abundance of vigorous life auras spread, occasionally accompanied by the sight of falling life divine stones. At this moment, the time and space of this mysterious location were torn apart, and a towering and majestic man stepped inside. In an instant, the entire Sea of Life surged with towering waves, and an invisible, terrifying pressure pressed down on the towering and majestic man. Yet all the pressure dissipated and diluted the moment it touched the towering and majestic man. Xianhuang, what brings you here? A cold voice emanated from the depths of the Sea of Life. Before I perish, I'd like to ask you for a life origin stone, the towering and majestic man said with a smile. A life origin stone? You already stole one back then, and now you want another? The voice from the depths of the Sea of Life spoke with a hint of anger. Lin Yuan instinctively feels this is beneficial to his internal universe. The ultimate goal of the 13th Order legacy, Infinite Void, is to transform his internal universe into something comparable to the vast structure of the Chaos Void. The Chaos Void possesses those mysterious places. Replicating them within the internal universe surely wouldn't go wrong. Especially the special rules formed by the mysterious places might play a crucial role for the internal universe. Even if they don't work, the internal universe, by nurturing the special environment of the mysterious places, means Lin Yuan can periodically harvest a batch of rare treasures from the Chaos Void that are hard to come by. That's simply like a money tree. No, it's a grove of money trees. Search the Novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1177 Breakthrough, Subscription Request. Venerable, what do you call the galaxy? Xia Qin Supreme suppressed the astonishment in his heart, even though he was sure he hadn't misheard. Even a chaos realm being like ancient Ming Venerable couldn't get it wrong, but he still wanted to confirm it again. Galaxy Great Saint? In the chaos void, among various void domains, the titles for powerful beings are numerous, but a great saint? Only those who have reached the perfection of the chaos realm and evolved their own chaotic theoretical path are qualified to be called a great saint. Without reaching this level, to presumptively regard oneself as a great saint would bring great calamity. Xianyuan Supreme and several other supremes also looked towards ancient Ming Venerable. They held their breath, not daring to make a sound. It seems you still don't know? Seeing this, ancient Ming Venerable suddenly understood. It seems that the Galaxy Great Saint had not revealed his true power to Xianyuan Supreme and the others. Indeed, if they had known Galaxy Great Saint's strength, how could the human tribes of the star-tier fragment world be so low profile? As for what happened on the side of the Shenhuang universe, it was at most circulated among the Venerables. Below the Venerable level? Very few know about it. Of course, as time goes by, the renown of the Galaxy Great Saint will spread across various void domains. Galaxy Great Saint, ancient Ming Venerable recounted what he knew. Even if he didn't say it now, in just a few months, the news would spread here. Since the Galaxy Great Saint displayed his power in front of many Venerables, he probably didn't intend to keep it hidden anymore. Are you saying that outside that postnatal universe, Galaxy withstood Dual Origin Great Saint, Black Light Great Saint, and many other great saints? Xia Qin Supreme was dumbfounded. Dual Origin Great Saint and Black Light Great Saint were well-known formidable great saints. Originally, ancient Ming Venerable's title for Lin Yuan had him merely guessing that Lin Yuan might have reached the perfection of the Chaos Realm. But to withstand Dual Origin Great Saint and Black Light Great Saint? That's not as simple as being merely in the perfection of the Chaos Realm. How could Dual Origin Great Saint and Black Light Great Saint compare to Galaxy Great Saint? Within the postnatal universe, Galaxy Great Saint suppressed Black Light Great Saint, Wild Barbarian Great Saint, and 6 other Chaos Great Saints. Only Dual Origin Great Saint managed to escape. Ancient Ming Venerable said. Upon hearing this, the minds of several supremes of human civilization were in a muddle. Suppressing 8 Chaos Great Saints? Including strong great saints like Black Light Great Saint and Wild Barbarian Great Saint. As for what the small cauldron would experience during this period, whose hands it might fall into, that time life wouldn't care much. Sky Void Tripod? During his deep insight into the small cauldron, Lin Yuan learned its name. Sky Void Tripod. This was also a mark left inside the small cauldron, easily comprehended with a little insight. Is this the 13-tier temporal life? Lin Yuan's mind was quite complicated. Merely the residual power naturally emitted from a 13-tier weapon could easily wipe out millions of void domains. If that 13-tier temporal life were to strike with full force, would it not be able to destroy half the chaos void? This was just in terms of sheer power. For 13-tier life, the most crucial point was the mastery of future timelines. Search the novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible.